welcome to Wilson Field at Ernie Chapman Stadium on this wonderful Saturday night as we get ready to watch the Chapman Panthers take on the visiting Trinity Tigers. Chapman struggled a little bit in their first game, but looks to get in the win column tonight against Trinity. That first game, a 48-14 loss at the hands of Linfield in Oregon. Trinity, a Texas team, and we are going to welcome you to the booth. I am Michael Hofling alongside Holden Platt, and as I said, Holden, Chapman really struggled in their first game against a very powerful team, Linfield. Trinity not as strong, but still a very capable team. Got a lot of good players. What does Chapman need to do if they want to come away with a W?
Well, tonight Chapman's really going to need to watch themselves on the penalties. They had 11 penalties for 100 yards last weekend, which really hurt them. Then quarterback Mac Vile's going to need to really find his guy. He's got to build a rapport with his wide receiving core. And then finally, in that same vein, Mac Vile's going to have to attack the air because the Trinity rush defense is ferocious, giving up only an average of 85 yards on the ground per game.
Yikes, that is very few yards. And on that note, Chapman's going to have a lot with their hands full. A lot of good players on this Trinity team, but who really stands out for them?
Well, first is wide receiver Cody Sandman, who has 157 yards on 9 receptions, so he's getting those big yardage catches. Then running back Evan McDowell already has 4 touchdowns into this short season. And then finally, linebacker Mitchell Globe has an interception return for a touchdown with 9 tackles, 5 of those being for a loss.
So those are some very good players for Trinity. So who's going to have to step up on Chapman's side of the ball if they want to win this one?
Well, coming up for Chapman tonight, it's mainly going to be the wide receiving core with wide receiver Jacob Isabel, who has 50 yards last weekend, and he had a 97-yard return punt touchdown. Then linebacker Miles Ailes, who has 7 tackles leading the team, and then wide receiver Ethan Weinstein, who had 7 receptions for 101 yards and a touchdown last weekend.
Weinstein was one of those great players for Chapman's team last year, but Chapman did lose a lot, and their key player that they lost was Jeremiah McKibbins, the legend running back for Chapman. With more on him and his loss, now Coach Owens is going to fill that role. We're going to send it down to the third member of our crew, Justin Thompson, on the sideline. Justin?
Thank you, guys. Well, you're absolutely right. Chapman has a huge hole to fill at running back after their all-conference standout, Jeremiah McKibbins, graduated last year. McKibbins is the only player in Chapman history to rush for 3,000 career yards. He also set the single-season record for most touchdowns with 19 last year. The new Panther running backs, Joe Moody and Brandon Medina, averaged 2.2 yards a carry last week. For comparison, McKibbins averaged over 6 yards a carry for his entire career here at Chapman. Back to you guys.
It could be very difficult to fill if you're Coach Owens. We're going to take a short break, but coming up after this, we're going to have the kickoff between Trinity and Chapman. You're watching Chapman Sports Broadcast Network. We'll be right back.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Take your life to new heights. Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
Dan Steele was a 4-year member of the Chapman football team and passed away last November at the age of 22. Richard Bine was a longtime benefactor of Chapman University, especially the athletics department. He was lovingly referred to as the Panthers coach of all sports and rarely missed a football game before passing last January. We ask that you please join us in a moment of silence to honor these 2 men. Thank you. To honor America, we ask that you please rise or stay standing for the national anthem sung today by Chapman student Rachel Mount.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Rachel Mount. At this time, captains for both teams will meet at midfield for the coin toss. We are grateful and honored to have Richard's wife, Roseanne, and Dan's father, Kevin, as well as his mother, Trish, as honorary captains today for the Panthers. They will be joining Panther captains number 7, Ben Waters, number 28, Darren Nishi, number 58, Miles Aliz, and number 72, Eric Gonzalez.
Welcome back to Wilson Field. A very powerful moment there before the game, recognizing Dan Steele and Richard By. Dan Steele's parents and Richard's wife, they were out there as honorary team captains doing the coin toss. Chapman won the toss and elected to defer. The rest of the team ran out onto the field, and we are getting ready for some football, some great football here. Holden, what do you expect to see here from Chapman?
Well, from Chapman, I'm really expecting to see an air-based attack tonight. I think that Chapman knows through the scouting that Trinity's run defense is a good one, and I'm really expecting to see an improvement from the secondary this weekend. I think that they had a tough time against Linfield, but I think they're going to be led well tonight.
Yeah, but who doesn't have a tough time against Linfield, right? Well, anyway, that game was against a team from Oregon. We have a game against a team from Texas now, and next week will be their first conference game against Pomona-Pitzer. But we're going to take it 1 week at a time. Chapman looking to get pumped up. Everybody's getting ready. Here are the Chapman cheerleaders getting ready to show their support and get the crowd really into the game. And that can really affect some games, just the energy that the crowd brings. And Chapman's crowd, if we know one thing, definitely knows how to bring the energy. They're all getting ready for the kickoff out there. Trinity out to take the field. You have to see a Chapman player get out there, but the special teams unit is getting ready as we speak.
Chapman chose to defer to the second half, so they will be kicking now, receiving for Trinity. Number 14, Adam Saunders.
Trinity will be receiving. If you're Chapman, the two players you got to watch out for on their side, on Trinity's side, it's going to be the returners. They are very, very dangerous. Lucas Alfonso, a returner from last year, he is such a good kicker. You can watch him in before the game if you ever have time. Come on out here to Wilson Field and watch him. He kicks 60-yarders like it's nothing from midfield. And off we go. The kickoff goes to Trinity, catches it at about the 2, and finds a hole up the left side. And there is not a Chapman player around, but a great tackle from behind. And that is number 58, Miles Alles. We talked about him a little bit. My color, Holden, talked about him as being a player to watch, and indeed he is. He is one of those players who can really change the tide of a game.
Yeah, he's already made a noticeable impact on the team this year. He's leading the team in tackles and already has an interception.
Yeah, and without him there, I don't know if Lucas Alfonso would have been able to make that tackle. Chapman could be down by 6 already. Trinity lining up in a 3-receiver set, 2 receivers in the slot as well. Out of the shotgun. Quarterback drops back and throws a outside post, and that'll be a gain of about 11. Catching that ball is number 9, Tommy Levine. He's a freshman. He had 109 yards and a touchdown in just 3 games so far. He has already made a noticeable impact in this first year of his Trinity career. A 4-receiver set now, 2 in the slot on the right side. 1st and 10. And a handoff to the running back, Evan McDowell, who's not going to go anywhere. A loss of 1, a great stop by number 59 for Chapman. Devin Ray, the senior linebacker. Last year, he was an absolute monster in that defensive line, 42 tackles.
And looking at Chapman's run defense there, they really set up nicely. They got through the hole. Trinity does have a good offensive line, not letting giving their quarterback a lot of time, Austin Grauer, so we'll see here.
Back in the shotgun again, it's Trinity. And there he goes, a huge gain this time for Evan McDowell. So after that first run wasn't too spectacular, a 12-yard run, and that'll be another 1st and 10. Making the stop there was the linebacker, Miles Alles again, so his 2nd tackle of the game.
Yeah, and Trinity really moving the ball quickly, not really giving Chapman time to set up. And I think that's kind of discombobulating them. It'll be interesting to see how Chapman adapts to this quick run offense.
They have yet to do a play outside of the shotgun formation. 3 receivers, 1 very close on the left side. And it's a pass play, and it's a screen out to the left side. Not really a screen, nobody in front of him, and the Chapman players are able to take him down. A combination of multiple players, but the main one was number 7, Ben Waters, the senior defensive end, who got off that line and made a nice tackle.
And looking at that pass, that's reminding you that Evan McDowell, the running back, is a dual threat. He can catch the ball.
Absolutely. Everybody on this team. There are 3 receivers with over 9 catches in just 3 games so far. Austin Grauer getting ready, and the handoff to McDowell up the middle, and he breaks a couple of tackles and rushes to the 15-yard line, a gain of 7.
For another Tigers first down, gets to the Panthers' 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Panthers.
Some substitutions coming in there. It's going to be number 26. That's Court Cowart. He's got 42 receiving yards on the season, 7 yards a reception. Out of the shotgun again, it's Grauer. And he's looking to pass, looking to the right side. He has his receiver in the back of the end zone, but he is out of bounds. That's Cody Sandman, such a dangerous receiver. We talked about him in the pregame.
And Grauer led him just a bit too long there. I think if Grauer had gotten the pass off a little earlier, Sandman might have caught that pass for a touchdown.
And that was some very good zone coverage by the Chapman defense. Matt Guttridge, the cornerback, he was out there and really forced Grauer to make a throw that went just a little bit too long. It is going to be 2nd and 10. The ball is on the 15. 12 minutes left here in the first quarter. A strong drive to open up the game for Trinity. Out of the shotgun. Looking to pass. Grauer on the left side and just couldn't get his receiver. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Should have waited just a little bit longer. He had his defender beat.
And Chapman really pressured the quarterback there. It looked like they blitzed Austin Grauer, and Grauer just did not seem to be ready on second down for that blitz.
It seems like Chapman's game plan so far has been to stop their rushing attack. They don't want to give Evan McDowell a chance to burn them.
Yeah, and I think they're aware that if you get Austin Grauer under pressure, he may throw an interception. He did throw 8 last season.
Here, a handoff to Evan McDowell, who drops it, but recovered by the quarterback. Some heads-up play there by Grauer. The fumble was forced by number 99, it looked like. Austin Pica. So a great set of downs there. They're going to force a field goal after what it looked like it was going to be a touchdown with the way they were moving the ball. You can see here he knocks the ball out. Actually, it was number 57, Eddie Lee Favors. The field goal here. Waiting for the referee signal. It is good, and Trinity will take a 3-0 lead here early in the first quarter. And Holden, Chapman's offense is going to have to answer now. They are down early. What do you expect them to do?
Well, I expect McVale to go through the air here. I think Chapman really hasn't found their number one running back, and I think they're going to need that to do that throughout the course of the season with Darren Nishi and Brandon Medina, and we'll see how they bring their running game out here.
Colby Doyle is the kicker for Trinity. He made that one from about 33 yards. And we're going to see him kick off here to the very dangerous return man who had the longest punt return in Chapman history. That was
Jacob Isabel.
Isabel, that's right. And he is going to be a vital part for Chapman this year in their receiving corps.
Yeah, Isabel a threat on both sides, not only returning the ball, but also catching the ball. He had 50 yards last weekend. It was a great outing for him.
Absolutely. Jacob Isabel, he is a man to watch for sure. Trinity getting ready to kick it off. It's going to be Ethan Weinstein with the return. He is a very dangerous returner as well. And he finds a seam up the middle, but gets swarmed by 4 Trinity defenders. The kicker looks a little bit happy he didn't have to make that stop. Chapman's offense will take the field and start at very good field position at the 40-yard line. It's going to be our first chance to see the new running offense without Jeremiah McKibbins, headlined by Joe Mooney.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Coach Owens splits up carries this weekend. We're going to see Joe Moody, you're going to see Darren Nishi, and you're going to see Brandon Medina. And it'll just be interesting to see who gets the most, who gets the least.
Well, I think for the rest of the season, whoever gets the most and who gets the least is going to be determined a lot by this game. Who can really make an impact in this game on the ground?
Yeah, I mean, in this game, it's really an out-of-conference juggernaut.
Out of the shotgun. A play action and misdirection and a great run there by number 81, Jacob Isabel. We just talked about him as a returner, and we get to see his legs there with a great run for about 12 yards, and immediately after the first play, another first down.
Yeah, Chapman really looking to go at that rushing defense as fast as possible, and a little trickery there, which is always interesting on the first play of the game.
Who doesn't like trick plays? Out of the shotgun again. It's Ricky Bautista. Bautista looking to pass. Gets around the tackle, but then gets knocked down by number 50, Jacob Blankenship, the junior defensive lineman. He already has half a sack this year. Add another one to that total, 1.5. It's going to be 2nd and 14.
And it was interesting as Bautista there, he went one way and his offensive lineman went the other, and he was kind of just ready to get tackled there.
You know what's strange? We were expecting to see Mac Vale, but it looks like Bautista's going to be the one under center today. And a flag there. It looked like it was either an offside or a false start. It is on the offense. That was number 86. Or sorry, excuse me, number 86. Corbin Kofor, the tight end. He only has 1 reception on the year. He's a very good blocker, though, but just jumped a little bit too early, and it's going to be even longer now, 2nd and 19. Out of the shotgun now, Bautista is coming onto the field as number 1, Mark Pacharek. A 5-receiver set. Bautista drops back, only 3 rushers. He has time and finds his man. And it is almost intercepted, tipped up in the air by number 59, Mitchell Globe, a very effective linebacker, already has an interception for a touchdown this year.
Yeah, we already talked about Globe's dual threat there. He can catch and he can also really make a great tackle as he's up there for tackles for loss on this Trinity team.
He is really a Swiss Army knife for this Trinity defense, able to do everything. You see here, that pass was intended for number 8, Caleb Durst. He was an all-academic Skyac. A flag on this play. Bautista throws it deep to his receiver and just out of the reach of his receiver. But we'll see what the penalty is. This one might just be a free play for Chapman. It is on the defense.
Yeah, I think Bautista was smart enough to know there that he could just put the ball up there and hope on a prayer that his wide receiver caught it, because that would be the play that would go down there.
Yeah, very heads up by Bautista, knowing he had basically a free play. So Bautista out of the shotgun again. One man in the backfield, 4 receivers. Looking to Owens to figure out what the call is, a little bit confused. Running back switches over. Joe Moody sets up on the other side. And it's a handoff to Moody up the gut, but he is stuffed by a couple of Trinity defenders. Making the stop there was Damian Harris, who was last week's South College Athletic Conference Defensive Player of the Week, really showing off his run-stopping abilities there.
Yeah, it's interesting that Chapman ran on 3rd down there, but I think they were really thinking worst-case scenario, you're going to pin Trinity inside their own 10.
Definitely, they did not want to possibly throw an interception and give them an amazing field position. Back to punt is Chapman, looking to pin them within their own 15-yard line. A fair catch is called, and he lets it bounce behind him, and into the end zone it goes. A very smart let go by Trinity. That was Rhodes' leg, the receiver. He has a touchdown this year. Actually a defensive back last year, but this year he decided to play receiver, and he has been effective so far, getting in the end zone.
And that was a good punt by Elias Deeb. It just didn't seem to get the right bounce he needed, and it bounced into the end zone.
Yeah, that is something that we tend to see with football, is just very strange bounces all the time. So the second opportunity for Chapman's defense to prove themselves here. After a huge return in the first drive, this one they have much better positioning, starting 30 yards back from where they were in the first one. Out of the shotgun, it's Grauer, who hands it off to McDowell, who tries to go to the left side and is stopped by Chapman's defense. It's going to be 2nd and about 5.
And it looks like it was Miles again there who stopped McDowell up there. He kind of slowed him up, and then someone else on the Chapman defense came in for the kill.
Well, that's just what you need if you're on the defense, and especially if you want to get stop McDowell from getting anywhere. You're going to need multiple people in on the tackle, so Chapman was good at recognizing that run early on and getting to where he was going. Another handoff to McDowell, this time right up the gut. It looks like they might have had the football there for a second. That was number 90, Adam O'Shea. And Adam O'Shea looked like he might have stripped the ball from McDowell's, but the ref's saying that that was not the case. And in fact, it is just a loss of about 2. 3rd and 8 will be.
And this is going to be a big drive for Chapman. They really need to stop here and to kind of retake the momentum.
How huge would a 3-and-out be? Out of the shotgun once again, it's Gower. Gower looking to pass. Running away from some defenders. And he finds his man on the right side. That was Rhodes' leg, and he drops the ball. But it is recovered by Trinity, unfortunately for Chapman. Recovering that fumble was Austin Grauer, the quarterback. So Austin Grauer is really heads up with these fumbles. Already recovered 2 for his team.
And he came over to the right side on that one. It was really surprising. Usually a quarterback gets out of the way there, but Grauer decided to get in on the action.
You see here 2 fumbles in a row, it looked like, and that fumble was forced by number 26, Ron Washington, who played for Ventura College last year. We're going to see a punt on this play. And here we are. We get to see Isabel with his dangerous punt return game. A very high, very dangerous punt. Flag on the play. Number 48 ran into the punter. And that is not smart. Your team is about to get the ball their second drive. You got a 3 and out. You got them back inside their own 30, but, you know, if you think you can block it, you got to go for it. But this time you just went a little bit too far, and that's going to be a penalty, and that's not going to be good. It's going to be Trinity ball, in fact, and the Chapman defense is going to have to come back out there.
Yeah, so that penalty is going to give Trinity an automatic first down, I think, and give them a second life here, which Chapman really did not want here, hoping to get the ball back and retake that momentum.
Wasn't a key to the game for you. Don't commit any penalties, or try not to commit penalties, and already they have 2 in just under 9 minutes here.
Yeah, and especially a penalty like that, kind of a careless penalty, honestly, is Chapman really needed to set their footing there.
1st and 10, it's Grauer out of the shotgun, McDowell in the backfield. We're going to pass, and he just dumps it off to McDowell, and he gets some space and rushes ahead for about 10 yards. They might have to bring out the chains. We're not sure if this is 2nd and inches or another first down.
And it looks like the referee is signaling it is not a first down. Oh, nope, they just moved the chains, actually. My mistake.
Yeah, it looks like it is going to be a first down, so a great pass play there and some heads-up play by Grauer, not looking for one of his receivers downfield, but knowing that McDowell had some space in front. This time it's a handoff to McDowell, who tries to go up the middle, gets a little bit of space, but eventually gets stopped. That was number 59, Devin Ray, with his second tackle of the game, excuse me.
And Trinity really looking just to push the ball up the middle here. It's interesting how Grauer isn't that mobile of a quarterback, yet he's coming in on all these plays and setting blocks for his running back.
Yeah, Grauer seems to be very physical, not afraid to get in there and get dirty, whether it's recovering fumbles or even blocking. Another handoff to McDowell, starts right, cuts left, but gets stuffed by 4 Chapman defenders. The main tackler there was number 7, Ben Waters. So Waters and Ray both with 2 tackles already in this game. They have made a definite impact so far.
And this set of downs just as big as the last one, as Chapman is really trying to stop this Trinity offense from running the ball past him.
They know that has to be the game plan. They know how dangerous McDowell can be. 3 receivers set, looking to pass. It's Grauer, who finds his tight end, number 4. Cody Sandman, excuse me, that was his receiver, who just ran a drag route right across the defensive line and had a lot of space, got a huge gain.
And Chapman didn't do badly against the rush last week. They did give up 406 of their yards on passes of those 571 yards.
Here we see the replay here. It wasn't his first receiver, but he did eventually find him, and Sandman luckily gets pushed out of bounds before too much damage can be done. Here we have another pass out to the sideline, number 26. Courts Cowards, who gets a huge gain of about 15. Another first down for the Tigers. They are now inside the 30. That is well within the range of their kicker, Colby Doyle. So Chapman could find themselves down by more than just a field goal in just a few minutes. Austin Grauer out of the shotgun. 4 receivers set. Looking to pass, looking left. And finding his man down the middle and intercepted by Chapman. Number 8, Caleb Durst. He's normally a wide receiver, but that time playing safety, and he just prevented a touchdown. A great play by Durst.
And an interesting decision there at the end of the play by Durst to come out of the end zone and try and run the ball back. He only got to about the 9-yard line, and he didn't set himself down in the end zone and take the free 20 yards.
Excuse me, that was Chris Williams. There are 2 number 8s on this Chapman team, 1 on offense and 1 on defense. Chris Williams, oh, wow, what a great play. That was a great catch. Just read the quarterback's eye, saw that he was going down the middle, and went to that receiver's route, got the ball.
And it was interesting, Grauer really floated that one up there. It looks like he was looking for a fade route, and it just didn't really work.
Well, he will get some handshakes and high fives from his teammates on the bench. Here's Bautista. The handoff is to, no, he kept it. He just faked me out. Bautista kept that ball and rushed for only about 1 yard. So Trinity seemed to be on top of that play. It's going to be 2nd and about 9.
Panther quarterback number 4, Ricky Bautista, takes it himself.
A little bit of the read option there. Bautista is a little bit more mobile than Vale. He can beat you with his legs or his arms. That's what you call a dual threat quarterback.
Yes, and last season, Ricky Bautista played football for Saddleback College. He was first team all-conference, and he was a pretty accurate passer, completing 239 of his 375 passes.
Take a look at the interception again. Chris Williams could have just taken a knee inside the end zone and had his team start at the 20-yard line, but decides to run it out. But with all that adrenaline, who can blame him? Just wants to get back out there and get some yards. Chapman looking to make their second down play. A little bit of a conversation happening with the referee. Some more linesmen and referee are talking to Coach Owens on the sideline. We're not sure what that is about quite yet. We'll see if we can get you an update on that. Chapman looks like they're going to be in a twin set, meaning 2 receivers on one side of the quarterback. And here we go. The confusion is all over, and Chapman will get ready. They will set up. 2 receivers, a tight end, and 2 people in the, one person in the backfield and 2 tight ends. Bautista out of the gun. The handoff is to Moody, and he gets a huge hole and is brought down just ahead of the 25-yard line. In on the stop is number 38, Brad Hood. Brad Hood has really done everything so far this year in just 3 games. 8 tackles, a sack, and an interception, making a huge stop there and not really allowing Moody to get any further.
Yeah, and it's interesting how the Chapman running backs are really kind of competing against each other as well as the other team this weekend, just really looking to get those first-team snaps.
Here, a trick play, a nice trick play, but just long. That was, Mark Pacharek, who was the intended receiver. And some great trickery. So far, we've seen a lot of trick plays by this Chapman offense.
Yeah, I think Chapman is really looking to catch Trinity off guard, especially here in the first quarter. Trinity obviously doesn't know a lot about Chapman as they haven't played, and I think Chapman's game plan is maybe switching due to their opponent.
You mentioned that they haven't played. This is, in fact, the first time that the 2 teams have ever played against each other. However, Trinity has gone to California. In fact, they have played Chapman's conference rival Redlands earlier this year. They won that game by 8 points. Bautista out of the gun, finds his man on the right side. It is incomplete, though. Dropped by Jacob Isabel, the wide receiver. A little bit of a hard catch, but that yardage would have been huge. Incomplete, it'll be 2nd and 10. 3rd and 10.
3rd down and 10.
3-0 the score. 3 minutes and 11 seconds left here in the first quarter. We've seen it all. 2 fumbles, an interception, a field goal. We need a touchdown here. Chapman would greatly take that right now. A screen pass here, and a huge hole for Joe Moody, who gets ahead and gets tripped up at the 42-yard line in Trinity territory. Joe Moody is a junior out of St. Mary's High School. He is only 5'11" and 190 pounds, but he runs like he is 6'4", 250. Just such a powerful runner. Great strength in those legs.
Yeah, and you saw Moody there receiving the ball. He's not only a running back, but he can catch the ball. He had a dual threat game last weekend where he did have a few receptions.
Joe Moody, a little bit of a Danny Woodhead for this Chapman team. A lot of receptions out of the backfield. And a miscommunication by Chapman. The snap goes over his head. It's going to be Joe Moody who recovers, but only gets about 1 yard after the recovery. And they are going to be back at their own 35. So that whole run by Moody pretty much erased by miscommunication between Bautista and his center, Alec Cohn.
38-yard line.
At the 38-yard line, Chapman's going to have their first down play. Second down. Out of the gun is Batista again. 4 receivers. Looking to his left or right and down the field. Almost caught. The pass was intended for number 81, Jacob Isabel. Just out of his reach, made a huge leap there.
And Isabel seemed to beat one of his defenders, but not the other one, and he just didn't have the height advantage there.
Isabel, one of those players who can be very dangerous. He is very fast coming off here, but he is somebody that Trinity is going to have to be mindful of for the rest of the game. Third and very, very long, 29 yards to go. 4 receivers again. Only one man in the backfield. Bautista looking to his left. Throws it short, and he is stopped by number 45. Excuse me, 42, Julian Turner. A great stop there. Not a lot of yards gained, but Chapman just looking to get some yards. It was very unlikely that they would get that play. Ian Craddock, number 9, he caught that pass. Junior out of St. Mary's as well. A great catch there. Second punt for Chapman. 2 offensive drives, both have ended in punts. A good punt. Caught and returned for about 7 yards, but a great stop by Devin Kelly, the wide receiver.
And Kelly just seemed to take matters into his own hands there. He broke a tackle and got his man.
Yeah, that block was shedded so fast by Kelly. Able to get around the man who was blocking him and get to that returner before too much damage could be done. Third drive for Trinity. One ended in a field goal, one ended in a spectacular interception by Chris Williams. And we'll see what the Tigers have in store for this third drive. Out of the gun, it's Grauer. We have yet to see a quarterback under center so far. The handoff is to McDowell, who bounces out to the left and is grabbed by a Chapman defensive lineman, really held up there and taken down by 2 more Chapman defenders.
And Chapman facing this juggernaut running back really well so far tonight. They're holding him to a minimum.
Exactly, Evan McDowell not gotten a lot so far, had a couple of runs for more than 10 yards, but Eddie Lee Favors really stacking him up there on that run. 4 receivers set, 1 in the backfield. Ball is snapped, Grauer looks to pass. Runs away from some tacklers and just throws it to the ground. The intended receiver, number 26, Court Cowards, who's had a couple of big catches in this game. Some very smart play there by Grauer.
And here we go, another big opportunity for Chapman to get a stop here, get the ball back, and try and score.
Chapman almost had a 3-and-out earlier this game, but on the punt play, a penalty was caused, and Trinity had another opportunity and almost got a touchdown on that drive. 3rd and 7. 23 seconds left here in the first quarter. Grauer out of the gun. Steps in front of the line and finds his man on the right side down the sideline and up to the 41-yard line. And that was Court Cowart, who made another great catch for a huge amount of yards. 13 seconds left here in the first quarter.
And it wasn't a particularly impressive pass. It seemed like Grauer shorted Cowart on the pass.
But Grauer just able to extend that play, and that's what you got to do as a quarterback. Extend it and wait for your receivers to get open. Wait to find that open man. Play is stopped here as the first quarter comes to an end. So we will be heading to the second quarter. Not a lot of points up so far, but that's what we expected. Trinity and Chapman both have very strong defenses. It is 3-0 right now.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how Chapman comes out in the second quarter, if they change their approach or if they just come out with the same approach they had in the first quarter.
Chapman, here we see the big play from Court Cowart. Grauer just stepping in front of that line, saw his man and a huge gain. They will have a lot more yards to go if they want to get some points, though. The first quarter has come to an end, and right now we will take a break. We will come back in a little bit with the second quarter. You're watching Chapman Sports Broadcast Network. We'll be right back.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University, a diverse, well-rounded education. Art, dance, music, theater. Empower your future. The performing arts at Chapman University. Create.
Welcome to the second quarter. Chapman is down 3-0, and already Trinity was on the 40-yard line, and a huge run by McDowell sets them at the 25. Another handoff to McDowell, who tries to go down the right side, but he is stopped by number 53.
And it seems that every other play here, McDowell's either getting a huge run or just a few yards. Chapman kind of alternately stopping him.
Sort of a boom or bust running back. Consistency is key, but everybody loves those big plays.
Grauer setting up in the shotgun again here.
3 receivers on his right side, 2 in the slot. Looking to pass here. Right up the middle, and just too long. The diving effort by Chris Williams. Not Chris Williams. The diving effort by the safety, just not enough to get that interception. Every time that Grauer has gone down the middle to try to get into the end zone, it's just been a little bit too long.
Yeah, I didn't really know who he was looking for there. There wasn't really a wide receiver in the vicinity. It seemed to just be 2 Chapman defenders.
Well, Grauer still a great passer. Out of the shotgun again, it's Grauer. The handoff to McDowell. Bounces to the left, spins around the defender, and stiff arms another, but eventually loses balance. On the stop there is number 93, Dominic Luca. Luca with his first tackle of the game.
Yeah, and Luca already with 4 tackles this season, 23 last year. He's been a consistent force for Chapman.
That's going to bring up 4th down. The field goal unit will come on for Trinity. Try to extend this 3-0 lead, double it in fact. Colby Doyle has a 64 field goal percentage, a long of 40 yards. This one's going to be for 41. And it is up. And it is no good, just left of the upright. And it will be Chapman ball.
And Chapman kind of playing with fire here, letting Trinity get down the field, but not really letting them score all that much.
Well, hey, they might be allowing some yards, but the score is all that matters. We're taking a look at what happened in the first quarter. A lot of big plays by both sides of the ball. However, Chapman's rushing game really hasn't been effective. McKibben's loss has been huge so far. -6 rushing yards. Passing yards are about even. Here we see a play action here. Mac Vale has come in. And the pass goes to Ethan Weinstein, who makes a great play and keeps his foot in.
And you've got to love college rules there. He just kept 1 foot in. You only need 1 in college.
It was a little strange. I'm so used to the 2-foot rule.
On his first pass, complete to number 6, Ethan Weinstein.
So the play action there to Muty works. Mac Vale coming in, completes his first pass to his number 1. The handoff to Muty bounces out to the left side and is stopped after a gain of about 3 at the 43. The stop there by number 59, Mitchell Globe, with his second tackle of the game.
And Coach Owens going with Mac Vale here. It's kind of an interesting decision. I think he's going with a 2-quarterback set tonight unless Vale really takes this game over.
Something he might be doing is trying to figure out who he wants to quarterback his team when conference play starts. Conference play does start next week. That's going to be the homecoming game against Pomona Pitzer. A Trinity player jumped over the line a little bit there. Vale and the offense expecting a call. They don't get one. And the handoff to Muti, who runs up the middle and is stuffed immediately by that defensive line. And on the stop is number 27, Sei Soibo.
And their handoff goes to number 27, Joe Muti. Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And Chapman just trying to find their rhythm here.
So Joe Muti, not able to get a lot of yards on those 2 carries. Let's see if they go to Vale again. Vale the play action. And completes, it looks like, to his receiver, number 81, Jacob Isabel. A great catch there. He was hammered by Trinity's defensive stud, Robert Kuhn. But he holds on to it, and that's just what Isabel brings, great hands.
And Isabel, it almost seemed like he was hit before the ball touched his hands, but he really kept his concentration and held on there.
Vale out of the gun. A quick pass over to the right side. It's number 11.
And that Vale pass complete to number 11, Dominic Usher.
A big gain, and that's going to bring up a first down. 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter.
First and 10. The Tigers 34.
First and 10, Vale out of the shotgun. A 3-receiver set, 1 in the slot, and Joe Muti in the backfield. Still yet to see a quarterback under center. Looking to pass. He takes it for himself and is stopped immediately. Number 27, Sei Soibo, shed his block immediately.
It's to about the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of 1. Second down and 11.
Second down and 11.
The Tigers.
And that seemed to be a bit of a broken play with Vale just being a deer in the headlights there, waiting to get hit.
At first, it looked like he was going to pass it, but took it back. We wonder if that was the plan from the very beginning. It seems so. A draw, a quarterback draw, what you call that. 3 receivers, 2 on the right side. A bubble screen over to Isabel, who breaks free. The 10, the 5, touchdown the Panthers. Ball is dropped, but it comes out of the end zone. So it will remain a Chapman touchdown. Jacob Isabel, an absolute stud on this drive. 2 huge receptions. The touchdown from Mac Vale. What did you see on that drive?
Well, really what you saw on that drive was a great mix of runs and passes there. Chapman really used their running game and their passing game really well, and Jacob Isabel was really the MVP of that drive with 2 huge catches, especially that one. You really see his speed there, see why he's the punt returner.
And the Trinity defender really tried to get in there and stop that one, Robert Molina. The kick is blocked, the extra point. It will be recovered by Trinity, so Trinity remains within a field goal. Lucas Alfonso a little bit upset with himself, but you can't be. You just took the lead over Trinity, and that's what's important. So as we mentioned earlier, the quarterback did change from Bautista. We have more with Justin Thompson on the sideline.
The Panthers bench, and I was on the sidelines, and there was a growing sentiment of frustration from some of the players because Ricky Batista had a lot of time and was not connecting on his throws. However, number 51, Andrew Walker on the defensive line made a speech, fired the guys up, said, let it go, let's move forward. They made a QB change to Mac Vale. Big touchdown there. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks, Justin. Shedding some light on that quarterback change situation. And maybe that change was a good thing as Chapman took the lead on that last drive just under 5 minutes into the second quarter.
Yeah, we'll see if Mac Vale continues with the quarterback job for the rest of the game or if Ricky Batista gets a chance for redemption.
But right now it is going to be Chapman's special team and Chapman's defense to see if they can hold this lead. The kick is off. Caught at about the 5-yard line. And taken up, sheds a tackle, and taken to about the 25, of a return of almost 20. Trinity's offense is going to come back on, and we expect to see a lot out of McDowell and Grauer again. Cody Sandman has a couple of receptions in this game as well, a couple of huge receptions that have allowed first downs after third and longs.
Gets to the Tigers.
Yeah,
on the
really hoping
25-yard
Chapman can
line.
kind of
First and 10.
get their games together here, especially on third down, because that's the largest down you can play for here in college football.
A little bit of movement on that defensive line, but no flag thrown. Looking to pass over on his left side. Intercepted by Chapman. Another interception, the second one of the game for Chapman. That time it's number 26, Ron Washington, who forced a fumble earlier in this game.
And Chapman just continuing on with that momentum, continuing to try and take the momentum. And a great play there by the secondary. The secondary did not play well last weekend, and they're really getting their redemption here tonight.
Well, it looks like they practiced a little bit, and it looks like the offense and the defense are really feeding off of each other's momentum. Interception leads to a Chapman touchdown, which leads to another interception. Everybody on that Chapman sideline is feeling good right now. Take a look at the interception here. Ron Washington just read the eyes of the quarterback. That pass was intended for Tommy Levine.
And Mac Vale, already 4 for 4 here, has not thrown an incomplete pass.
Joe Moody with the handoff here, taking up the right side for a gain of only 3. Stopped by the Trinity linebacking core.
And up went to number 27, Joe Moody. Gets a few yards. Second down.
Second down and 7.
And about 7 at the 41-yard line.
Out of the gun is Vale. A play action. And he gets hit as he throws it. Hit by number 50. Jacob Blankenship. Blankenship has had a couple of stops. That time, it looked like Vale was going to go deep.
And Vale was lucky he didn't get hit earlier there, or that may have been a fumble.
And that is not what Vale wants. Vale had a little bit of trouble with fumbles last year, and he does not want to start off this campaign with a fumble as well.
So 3rd and 7 here, a big down for Chapman. Chapman was only 3 of 12 on third down last weekend, so hoping to find some success here.
3rd down and 7, looking on the left side. Complete to number 11.
And Mac Vale pass complete to number 11.
It's going to be a first.
Good for a Panthers first down.
It's going to be a first down and a great 3rd down play call there by Coach Owens and the Chapman offense.
The Tigers.
The catch by Dominic Vacher. First and 10 from the 38-yard line. Vale runs to his right, and he is caught by a Trinity defensive end, number 35, Luke Packard. That's going to bring up 2nd and about 13. Second sack of the game for Trinity.
And Vale, again, just had nowhere to go there, and he seemed to need to just make up his mind and go up the middle.
Well, Vale always looking for his receivers, and just seemed like he didn't know where the defense was. Packard was able to shed his block almost immediately, and Vale almost ran straight into him. Able to get a little bit more yardage, though. Out of the gun again. 4 receivers, 3 on the left side. The trips bunch looking to the left, goes right, and cut down by 2 Trinity defenders on the tackle again. It is Luke Packard. Give him another half sack. The other half of that sack goes to number 55, Stargil Shelby.
And that could not have felt good, as Vale was kind of sandwiched there between the 2 large defenders.
And a big thing that we have heard from the sideline was that Ricky Bautista was taking a little bit too long to pass, but 2 straight plays here. Vale taking a little bit too long to find his receiver and getting sacked.
And honestly, I don't know if it's that. It doesn't seem like Vale's getting that much time.
The offensive line might need to step up. Passing again, looking to the right, dumps it off to Moody. Moody breaks the tackle, but then gets shoved out of bounds by number 14, Adam Saunders.
It doesn't look like Moody had enough for the first down.
Number 27, Joe Moody.
That's not going to be enough for the first down, and we're going to see if they're going to bring the field goal unit on, as it's going to be 4th and 12. Lucas Alfonso, a very strong leg, but I guess it's not going to be strong enough. They're going to go for it right now. Oh, they are going to punt, actually. Back to punt, Elias Deeb. He's a freshman. He has 6 punts for 220 yards, just under 40 yards. Gets this one. It is up high. Looks to be a little bit deep. But Chapman is there, and they get it within the 10-yard line.
Deeb really happy with that punt. He set them inside their own 10. That's the second time this season he's done that.
It's a Panther punt by number 98.
We take a look at the Chapman offense so far tonight.
By the Panthers.
Take a look. They have 123 yards. Most of their yards have come through the
First
air.
down and 10 for the Tigers at their own 9.
-4 rushing yards. That's something you don't want to see.
And we talked about this again earlier tonight. Chapman really needed to make that air attack known, and that's what they've done, and that's been essentially all of their offense tonight.
Pretty good on the passing plays, though, just over 6 yards of play. Here it's the handoff to McDowell, who runs to the right side. And he gets dropped after a gain of about 4. It's going to be 2nd and 6 for Trinity.
And again, not seeing a big run from McDowell here. We saw how many yards he had, 372 in 3 games, which means he's going to have some big runs, and Chapman is really stopping him up the middle.
A great tackle there on the ground, but still made the stop was Devin Ray. 2nd and 6, another handoff to McDowell. Pretty much the same play, runs up the right side, but stopped pretty quickly by Miles Alles. We take a look at both teams' 3rd down efficiency so far tonight. Chapman is 2 for 6, Trinity 2 for 5. Neither team really pulling away in that department.
And that's not what you like to see for Chapman's offense. Again, we mentioned that they had struggled on 3rd down last weekend. Again, they're struggling here. You really want to see them be more efficient on 3rd down.
Exactly. It is the dreaded down for offensives. Grauer out of the gun again. 2 people in the backfield. Another handoff to McDowell, who runs over to the right side. And it doesn't look like it's going to be enough for the 1st down. Only had 2 yards to go. Well, it looks like the punt team for Trinity is going to have to come back out.
And you love to see that. Great drive by Chapman's defense. Way to hold McDowell. They only gave it to him, and Chapman was ready to get him and stop him there. And they're going to get the ball back here and maybe be able to use the rest of the clock, go into the halftime with some momentum and maybe even a score.
Only 5 minutes left here in the first half. Back to receive the punt is Isabel, who has already had a pretty good return so far this game. A high snap and muffed kick, and this is going to be huge for Chapman. The punter still tries to kick it, but is recovered in the end zone by Chapman. A huge Chapman touchdown. So now we've seen the offense get some big plays. We've seen the defense get some big plays. And now the special teams gets in on the action. Diano Pacho, he is a running back, 220 pounds, 5'8", a lot of players out of St. Mary's. You see here a high snap, tries to one-hand it, but it's not enough. Immediately stopped by 3 Chapman players and 5 players after the ball. They're going to get to that before the punter. And Pachote gets in there first. The extra point attempt. They already had 1 extra point attempt blocked, Chapman did. This time it's up, and it is no good. So 2 PAT attempts, no good for Chapman.
But again, you cannot be unhappy here with the way Chapman has played so far tonight. Even though those are missed PATs, Chapman's still scoring, still taking the lead, and they have grabbed the momentum from the Trinity Tigers.
They have had the momentum for most of this second quarter, whether it was an interception, a blocked kick and a touchdown, or a huge screen pass for a touchdown as well. Jacob Isabel, the receiver, getting that one.
And you're really seeing that balanced attack from Chapman. You're seeing the defense contribute. You're seeing the offense contribute. You're seeing the special teams contribute. Everyone is putting their pay in here tonight.
Coach Owens has to be very pleased with his team. Just under 5 minutes left here in the second quarter. You have to imagine he's going to have some very positive words for his team in the locker room. Just as a reminder, Chapman will receive the ball at the start of the second half. recovered in the end zone and taken out. Trinity looks to get a huge return. They find a small seam up the middle, but dropped at about the 29-yard line.
Lucas Alfonso kickoff return by the Tigers.
And this is a big drive for Chapman. If they can get a stop here, get the ball back, and end the half with the ball, they're going to start the second half with the ball, really holding Trinity to nothing.
Coming back out is going to be Grauer, and after that first drive that really made it look like Trinity's offense was feeling it today, they have pretty much had nothing going for them.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that after their game against Redlands, another team in the SIAC Conference. They scored 34 points, and they just really haven't had it tonight.
Another errant throw by Grauer, this one to his receiver, Tommy Levine. Just to his right, a little bit behind him. Grauer has not looked like he has had command of his throws so far.
And I think part of that is due to Chapman's defense really playing disruptive football. He's hearing footsteps. He's hearing guys come into the backfield, and Grauer's really not feeling comfortable there.
3 receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 running back. The handoff to McDowell, who runs up the middle just to the left, and a short gain of about 5 yards is going to be 3rd and 5.
And Trinity really trying to find a rhythm here. Chapman making that hard.
And that's what you got to do. When you can stop the run game, which has been huge for Trinity so far this season, it is enormous for your defense. And they have so much momentum right now, you have to imagine that they are feeling it. That stop there by Devin Ray, who has had just a number of tackles so far. Out of the gun again, it's Grauer. Grauer evading some defenders, moves out of the pocket, and takes it himself and rushes up to about the 41-yard line. That's going to be a first down. Some very heads-up running there by Grauer.
And Grauer, not a very mobile quarterback, so interesting to see him come out of his element there and run the ball.
And that's what good quarterbacks do. They're able to adapt in changing situations. That time he saw his play break down, saw his offensive line break down, and just rushed for the first down. From their own 42. 2 men in the backfield. The handoff to McDowell, who rushes out to the right side. Excuse me, it's a play action, but some very heads-up defense there by Eddie Lee Favors, who disrupted that pass. Coming into the game for Chapman is going to be Andrew Dykeen. Diano Pachote, the man himself. He's usually a running back, but he's out there on defense right now. He was the one who recovered the fumble in the end zone for Chapman for their second touchdown of the game. Another handoff to McDowell, who runs up the middle, stiff arms 1 defender, and then gets dropped by 3 Chapman defenders. That time the stop was made by Dominic Luca, defensive lineman senior. Last year, Luca had 23 tackles. The year before that, 10 and a forced fumble. He has gotten more tackles every single year he's been on this Chapman team, and that's what you call improvement. It's what you want to see if you're a coach.
And you love to see a player like that just make those improvements every season, work hard. Bob Owens has got to be happy with Dominic Luca.
Out of the gun again. The handoff to McDowell, who bounces out to the right side and gets just ahead of the first down marker. Stopped there by Andrew Deacon. That's going to be a first down.
Up to number 5, and then McDowell gets a first down across the 50 for the Tigers. They set up shot 1st and 10 at the Panthers 45.
A timeout called by Chapman. Going to talk over this defense. Try to figure out what they need to do to stop Trinity from getting some points before halftime.
And I think Bob Owens here is really going to tell his defense that they need a stop here. This is a huge momentum drive, and if they can get a stop and go into the half with the lead like this, it's going to be a good second half.
Imagine just how huge it would be if they could stop them before they get in field goal range and go into the locker room with a 9-point lead. There he is, Pete the Panther, the pride of Chapman. Always gets the crowd going there.
And a pretty packed crowd here tonight, the home opener being well attended.
Absolutely. They love the Panthers here at Chapman, and Pete the most popular of them. There we see the coach for Trinity, Jeremy Urban. Jeremy Urban is a former NFLer. In fact, you know what's crazy about him? He was on the Arizona Cardinals 2008 Super Bowl team.
Yeah, that was a great team. They came so close there against the Steelers.
Absolutely, yeah. I was rooting for him. Even as a Niners fan, I was rooting for those Cardinals.
Being from Minnesota, I had to vote for the AFC team there. Couldn't go for our rival in Arizona.
1st and 10, Grauer out of the gun. Dumps it off to McDowell. McDowell, a decent gain of about 8 yards, 2nd and 2. A screen pass there to McDowell, the screen set by the wide receiver. We just saw a stat, McDowell has only averaged about 3.6 yards a carry so far.
Yeah, 18 carries for 65 yards there for McDowell. So not really finding his rhythm that he has against in the other games.
And Chapman is just fine with that. Looking to his left. Catches it. That's going to be number 10, Rhodes' leg. A short gain. Not going to be enough for a first down. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Just short of the first down marker. It is 3rd down and 1.
And this play, a huge one here, 3rd and 1 with less than 2 minutes to play in the half.
Another handoff to McDowell, trying to get behind his line, but stopped immediately before he can get to the first down marker. And once again, it's Devin Ray with another great tackle. He has seemed to be in every big defensive play for Chapman so far today.
Yeah, great play there, and it looks like Trinity's talking it over, seeing if they want to go for it here. It's going to be a gutsy play. I think they're trying to run some clock as well.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Lucas Alfonso, we saw just a second ago, stretching, getting ready to try to extend that lead to get to 15. But running some clock would be a good idea if you are Trinity.
Trinity may also, they have their 3 timeouts. They may be looking to draw Chapman off sides, get that penalty, and kick a field goal here at the end of the half. So we'll see if they even try and go for it.
So a timeout called by Trinity with 55 seconds left here in the first half. Seems like they are bringing their field goal unit out onto the field. Let's take a look at how Trinity has done so far tonight. We saw Chapman a little bit earlier, but if you look at Trinity's stats, look at that. They have had a very balanced attack, 15 passing plays, 19 rushing plays, 164 yards. But they have had a lot more plays than Chapman, which just shows how big some of Chapman's plays have been.
Yeah, and Chapman has been a lot more efficient tonight. And again, you see that balance for Trinity. Usually Trinity is a run-heavy offense. Seeing that balance there and seeing Austin Grauer throwing the ball more really means that Chapman has disrupted Evan McDowell's game tonight.
Exactly. One of the things that Chapman had to do was stop McDowell from getting huge plays. Not only have they stopped him from getting huge plays, but they have really forced Trinity to throw the ball, which is not what they want to do. A 3-receiver set here. Another run up the middle for McDowell, who is going to get the first down and some more. Eventually brought down by number 95, Andrew Deacon.
And McDowell just found a hole there. Good blocking by Trinity's offensive line.
A very quick up-tempo offense here. Grauer looks right, and it looks like his throw was blocked. Once again, Deacon there getting his hand in the face of the quarterback and stopping that pass from getting anywhere. A couple players going off for Trinity, 2nd and 10.
And it's been interesting to see the tempo that Trinity has played tonight. Their offense at the beginning of the game was very efficient, very quick, and now that offense has kind of slowed down, and I think that's allowed time for Chapman's defense to really adapt.
A Chapman player getting a little jumpy there on the offensive line, but Grauer back to pass. He's looking to run this one and gets it ahead to about the 24-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 3, excuse me. And no huddle. They are going straight. They are trying to get to that touchdown with just 25 seconds left here in the first half. Grauer looking to pass. Finds his man on the right side, and falling out of bounds, he finds his receiver.
First and 10 at the Panthers.
That catch by Rhodes' leg is falling out of bounds. That's huge. Getting the ball to the sideline and stopping that clock is going to give Trinity a chance to get into the end zone. Another timeout called by Chapman, trying to figure out what they need to do. Trinity has really moved the ball efficiently in this past drive.
Yeah, this drive has been a great drive for Trinity, and Chapman's defense hasn't played all that well, has given up some of those third down, first downs, and it's really hurt them.
That's something we saw at the beginning of the drive was third down efficiency. And it said that Trinity was only 2 for 5, but they have really improved that percentage so far.
Yeah, Trinity doing what Chapman needs to do as well and just really improve on that third down percentage.
Coach Owens giving a little bit of a pep talk to his team. They know they need to do something to stop this team. They do not want to give up a touchdown with very little time left on the clock. Only 19.5 seconds left here.
And I think here, Coach Owens, they're playing prevent defense in the end zone. I think you're going to see more defenders in the end zone than anything because I think a field goal would not hurt Chapman that badly.
4 receivers here. McDowell in the backfield still. Passing, looking to his left, and getting sacked is going to be Grauer. Sacked by number 7, Ben Waters. Ben Waters with his second sack of the game, and a timeout called by Trinity. They needed to call a timeout there. That clock was going to run out. Only 7 seconds left here in the first half.
And you'd assume that Trinity was going to kick a field goal here with only 7 seconds left. They might not have enough time to take a shot at the end zone.
That would be a dagger in the heart of Trinity. They tried so hard, drove so far from inside their own 10 all the way to the opponent's 19-yard line. And to have to settle for a field goal would just be disheartening, but great for the Chapman team.
On the play before the timeout, you can credit that sack by the Panthers. Number 7, Ben Waters.
Said Eddie Waters was in on that sack. He has just been a monster on that defensive line, his second sack of the game. He was great last year as well.
At the Panthers' 25-yard line.
So it looks like they're going to go for it, electing to go for the 6 rather than the 3. The kicker, Colby Doyle, has already missed a 41-yarder, which would be about the length that they have here. The pass out to the left side. A screen pass, but it looks like he's not going to have enough time. It looked like not too much time went off that clock, only 2.2 seconds. I thought that was a little bit of a longer play.
Well, actually, after the timeout, the referees went and looked at the clock, and they added 7 seconds to the play clock. So
that is a lot of time to add to the play clock. So they have 7.3 seconds to go, 15 yards.
Trinity going to take a shot at the end zone here. It looks like this may be their last play in the half.
They have gone for the end zone a number of times, but each time Grauer has thrown long up the middle. Looking to the left here, throwing a fade out to the right side, and just too long once again. That's Tommy Levine.
Intended for number 9, Tommy Levine. That is incomplete. 4th down.
I feel like 2 interviews right after this would be yeah, we can send that. It's going to be a 32-yard field goal attempt for Doyle, who's already missed 1 in this game. He gets this one, and the call is no good. Just left of the upright once again. 12-3 it will remain. Just under a second left here. Chapman ball. I don't think they're going to go for a huge play and try to put some more points on the ball. Just maybe kneel it and send it into the half.
Yeah, and sending it into the half with some momentum. Great defense there by Chapman. Way to get their special teams a stop.
Absolutely. Not stopping that field goal makes it a 2-possession game still, and that's huge going into halftime. Not a lot of scoring so far, so any effort that the defense can provide, any little push that they can give is going to be so huge and so gladdening to this Chapman offense, who loves to play with a lead.
Yeah, and Chapman just getting their players on the field here. Probably going to take a knee.
Looks like they are getting ready to take a knee. Mac Vale out there to take the snap. And he had a great second quarter.
Yeah, Vale came in and took over that leadership role like he needed to.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Vale really made an effort there, completed his first 4 passes, and had a little bit of a misplay when he got almost sacked by 2 Trinity defenders, but you can't really blame him for that one. The offensive line, really all of Chapman, has played very well, but the highlight has been the 2 interceptions by the Chapman defense. Coming up at the half, we have an interview with Bob Owens on the field, and we have Panther Halftime Report featuring an interview with, guess who, Jeremiah McKibbins, who's probably going to shed some light on how he thinks Coach Owens is going to try to fill the hole that he left.
Yeah, and I cannot wait to see that interview with McKibbins.
Chapman heading into the locker room. You can only imagine that they are very happy with their play. Chris Williams with the first interception and Ron Washington with the second one, and both of them were just huge. The first one coming when Trinity looked like they were going to get a touchdown, and the second one coming right after that, the very next Trinity offensive possession. That really stopped the momentum. Trinity knew that they had to get the touchdown in order to stop Chapman's momentum.
And that's kind of been a common theme here in the first half. Chapman stopping Trinity when they're getting close. Trinity not making those field goals. Chapman getting the interception there.
There we see Pete the Panther. He's probably the happiest of all. We have Coach Owens on the sideline with Justin Thompson.
All right, Coach, we did a pregame segment on finding McKibbin's replacement. What do you think of Joe Moody's performance tonight?
Joe's been doing a good job. It's a tough defense. It's the biggest football team we played both offense and defensively. So Joe's banging it up in there real good, made some big plays, got some first downs, and helped to keep us alive and put some touchdowns on the board.
You guys have looked good. All 3 phases have the lead 12-3 at halftime. Your special teams jumped out at me with the punt block and a couple big returns. How much of an emphasis have you guys been placing on the special teams recently?
A third of everything we do is special teams. We break the game down in 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. So obviously it paid off tonight so far, but we still got another half to go, right?
Absolutely. Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Best of luck. We'll see you for the second half. Thanks, guys.
Owens so modest. His team has played in a spectacular first half, but he knows that there's still another half to go, and he knows what can go wrong in that second half.
Yeah, Coach Owens there really playing it humble, and he knows that this Trinity team can put a lot of points on the board, and he really hopes that Chapman's defense can hold up.
And he mentioned there the 3 phases of Chapman's game plan, and they have really been effective. We are going to take a break as halftime is upon us. We will be right back. You're watching the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. History, philosophy, peace studies, languages. Study abroad and explore the world. Become a global citizen. The Wilkinson College at Chapman University. Invest your humanity. Lead.
Welcome back to Wilson Field at Ernie Chapman Stadium, where we have seen Chapman really show up. They have really proven themselves in this game against this tough Trinity team. And a great first half, defense, offense, and special teams. Take it away.
Yeah, so let's go over the highlights here for Chapman here in the first half. First, starting off with the kick return there. Chapman, strong kick return, getting some great field position there. And then playing some great defense on Austin Grauer and Evan McDowell, really stopping McDowell. And then Grauer again with another pass there. But again, that Chapman defense really playing great defense on both sides of the ball. And then Grauer puts it up in the end zone and intercepted by Chris Williams. That was one of those huge plays there that really gave Chapman the momentum in the first half.
Absolutely. Lots of special teams, lots of defense, some great plays on both sides of the ball. We didn't get to see the touchdown by Isabel there, but that was a great play by both Vale and Isabel some chemistry. He might have found his number one guy.
He may have, and I really hope he has.
Absolutely. And with that, we'd like to send it back down to Justin Thompson on the sideline with Dan Steele's parents on this emotional night.
Of Dan Steele, on such an emotional night, what does it mean to you to be here honoring the memory of your loved one?
It's so amazing to be here and just to feel the love for Dan and to feel the love that Dan is sending back out. We won the coin toss. I was very proud of that. And he loved his Chapman Panthers. He will forever be a Panther. Go number 44. We miss him so much.
I'd like to thank the Chapman community, in particular the Chapman football team, for keeping the memory of Dan alive. Really appreciate it.
His name will certainly live on forever. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
And Chapman looks to keep this 9-point lead, 2-possession lead in the second half. It's going to require a lot. Trinity is going to come out firing on all cylinders. Offense, defense, special teams need to keep up their strong play if they want to hold this lead. And with that, we're going to take a break. But coming back, we're going to have the start of the second half. Right now, the score, Chapman 12, Trinity 3. You're watching the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network.
Stand up for what's right. Chapman University. Passion, perseverance, teamwork, integrity. Create value in the world. The School of Law at Chapman University. Lead.
The second half is underway. If we take a look at the first half rush yards, these don't really tell the whole story.
No, Chapman with negative 17 rush yards. Obviously, you don't want to start in the negative column, but Trinity also only 70 rush yards. Both rushing defense playing great.
And Joe Muty, Coach Owens said he was playing great, but negative 17 there shows his skill in the pass game. The kickoff for the second half is underway. Chapman back to receive. It's going to be Weinstein, who had that huge return in the first half, down the right side. He cuts over to the left side, around the defender, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, but is brought down from behind.
And Weinstein just really couldn't get a block there. He was trying to find a hole, and nothing really opened up.
He was, absolutely trying to find a hole, cut all the way from one side of the field to the other. You don't see that very often, but he thought he had some and got maybe a couple extra yards out past the 20, which is the most important thing.
And we'll see who comes out at quarterback here in the second half for Chapman. Is it going to be Ricky Bautista, who started tonight, or Mac Vale? And it looks like it's going to be number 18, Mac Vale.
And I can't blame Coach Owens for doing this. Vale had such a great second quarter, completing his first 4 passes, getting the only offensive touchdown so far in this game.
And this is a huge drive for Chapman. Making this a 3-possession game would be massive.
3 possessions would be big, but I'm sure that they would take the 3 points as well. Out of the shotgun, Vale is getting ready. It looks like they are setting up in a heavy set. 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and 1 man in the backfield.
And Mac Vale having a conversation with the referee. There's been some confusion on the part of the referees tonight. Not really sure what that's about.
First play of the second half. Play action over to the right side. It's going to be number 81, Ismail, who gets a huge play, a nice slant route there for a first down, gain of about 13.
And Chapman kind of playing Trinity at their own game there, really picking up the tempo, quick pass, moving the chains there.
And Isabel out of St. Mary's High School. We have seen so many players out of St. Mary's High School so far this game.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And Jacob Isabel so far playing the best. And like we said in the pregame show, Mac Vale's really finding his number one, and I think that's a great thing for this Chapman team that really needed that.
And there we see actual number 1 in motion, and he's going to get the pass, but it is just out of his reach. Unable to get that pass is Mark Pacharek. It's going to be 2nd and 10.
Intended for number 1, Mark Pacharek. Incomplete. 2nd down.
A large substitution here, 4 players coming off. Coming into the game is going to be Ethan Weinstein, who's going to set up on the left side of the quarterback. Joe Muty in the backfield. He had a great first half. 4 receivers, 2 in the slot. Motion here, sending 3 receivers out to the right side. And it's going to be a bubble screen. Isbell gets a hole and only gets forward about 4 yards. We take a look at the first half passing yard difference. As you can see here, Chapman has the advantage.
Yeah, and that's not really a surprise here. Austin Grauer really played a shaky first half for Trinity, and once Mac Vale came in the game, he was very solid for Chapman and still is really finding his number 1, Jacob Isabel.
Trinity has more total yards, but that shows you just how big Chapman's defense has been with those 2 interceptions. A missed snap there. Mac Vale gets it and throws it way downfield. He has his man, and that is a huge gain for Chapman. Matthew Mucarino with the catch there. The 6', 190 junior out of St. Mary's High School.
And that was a great catch there and great awareness by Mac Vale. Great recovery there. The snap was bad, and Vale really recovered there and knew he had a free play with the flag coming in. So now Chapman will start far into Trinity territory.
Vale back to pass, looking for somebody up the middle, and it is intercepted by Trinity. Trinity has a hole. Out to stop him is number 56, Ryan Moles. But that is a big interception for Trinity. Brad Hood with the interception there out of Lago Vista. And we talked about him a little bit earlier. He had a huge stop on Joe Muty and held him to only about 4 yards on the play. He had nobody else inside on that one. This time the huge interception, first turnover for Chapman.
Yeah, and that turnover really takes the wind out of Chapman's sails here. Really was far into Trinity territory, and Chapman was driving, and now Trinity has the ball back with the chance to do some damage.
Grauer, the handoff to McDowell, fakes a pass, but he is blocked at the line right there, stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey. On the stop there is going to be number 90, Adam O'Shea, making his first stop of the day.
And O'Shea's had a few nice tackles here tonight. He's really made his mark, as has most of the Chapman defensive line.
He has been a ninja on that defensive line. Silent but very deadly, making a huge impact. Grauer on the gun, looking to his left, and he finds his receiver for a gain of about 12, and that's going to be a first down. Rhodes' leg made a couple of possessions, not a huge yardage, but definitely some first downs for him.
And none of these none of these Trinity wide receivers very tall with leg at 5'9", but they're just going out there and finding space.
And that's all you need to do when you're a receiver. If you can get open, you will make catches. Another pass out here, and a huge hit by Chapman, and that's going to be Ron Washington, the man with the interception earlier this game. A huge hit on that receiver for Trinity. Man who got hit was Court Coward, who's had a couple plays as well. But dang, Ron Washington. Watch. Boom!
And Ron Washington from 2013 to 2015 actually played wide receiver for Ventura College. Washington out of the Miami area. And now he's playing defense.
The handoff to McDowell, who's going to run up the middle and gets tripped up by Devin Ray, who made another great play. He stayed on his feet. How did he stay on his feet? Eventually brought down by Ben Waters, who's made a number of great stops. But how did he stay on his feet? That's very impressive.
And there you're really seeing that power that McDowell has, his ability to get those large runs, and Chapman couldn't really hold him forever.
Absolutely. We were just waiting that whole first half to see McDowell get a huge play, and Chapman did a great job of containing him. A timeout here by Chapman. And Owens probably just going to talk to his team and try to calm him down. Trinity has been very effective on this drive, making a number of big plays.
Yeah, and I think Owens really telling his players to, don't panic. You still have a lead, but you still need to be aware that this Trinity team is going to try to run all over you.
That's the number one thing that they're going to try to do so far. We've seen that a ton in this first half. And we've seen it at the beginning of this third quarter as well. Trinity coming back out onto the field, still in the huddle is Chapman, probably going to try to talk over what they want their defense to accomplish. Probably get back to stopping McDowell. A couple of pass plays in this first drive for Trinity, but really McDowell is the key. They were able to stop him in the first half, and that's what they need to keep doing if they want to win here.
And as long as Chapman can really keep Trinity out of the end zone here, it seems like Trinity hasn't been able to trust their kicker tonight with those 2 missed field goals. They have been a bit lengthy.
He has only gone 1 of 3 tonight, a career 64% field goal kicker. A misdirection here, and a pass attempt over the top and caught down the field. A great trick play by Trinity. Receiving that touchdown is Tommy Levine from Rhodes Leg, who we just saw catch a pass. Tommy Levine, Rhodes Leg, chemistry. Who needs a quarterback when you got great receivers?
And Trinity really took a page out of Chapman's book there. Earlier in the game, Chapman tried to do that play with Jason Isbell, and it didn't really work.
At first, it looked like it was going to be a McDowell run, but the trickery continued. Rhodes Leg run. Nope, it's a Rhodes Leg pass. First touchdown we've seen for Trinity. The PAT is up, and it is good. Barely, just off of the upright left. He seems to be hooking all of his kicks to the left.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at Leg, I mean, he's been great tonight, along with Cowart.
Yeah, Cowart and Levine and even Sandman, they have all made a great effort and gotten tons of good yards, getting third down to first downs. They've been all over the field tonight.
Yeah, and Chapman really needs to find their rhythm here.
And we'll see if the offense can get that momentum back after giving up a touchdown. Chapman only up by 2 now. Chapman's offense looked very good in their first drive of the second half, but unfortunately that ended in an interception. Mac Vale, we're going to see if he can attempt to fix the error he made and maybe get them back up by 2 possessions.
Yeah, and Chapman needs a big drive here. They really need to regain that momentum.
A very deep kick, caught at the 3 by Weinstein. Weinstein trying to find the hole again. Around some defenders he goes, tripped up and tackled from behind by number 44. Some great special teams play there by Trinity. Mac Vale back in the huddle. Ethan Weinstein looks a little bit disappointed in himself. Thought he could get a few more yards on that return. Mac Vale back under center, coming out there for the second drive of the third quarter. In the backfield, it's Muti. 3 receivers and a tight end. He sets his receiver in motion. Muti gets the handoff. No, it's a fake, and Isabel gets the handoff, but he is shoved out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage.
And another Chapman rushing play that just doesn't work. Chapman really being stopped by Trinity's rush defense, and you didn't think they'd have negative yards here in the third quarter on runs, but that's where we are right now.
Looked like Chapman saw that trick play by Trinity and was like, hey, we need to go back to that. However, Isabel gets -1 yards on that. The jump out to Joe Muti, who gets a couple of yards. Not enough for the first down, but a very doable third and short. Looks like about 3 yards.
Yeah, and Muti really stayed on the sidelines there. Great balance.
Joe Muti, he's a junior, 190 pounds. A 4 receiver set here with Joe Muti in the backfield, excuse me. A play action and over to the right. The one-handed attempt there is no good. It's going to be 4th down. The punt unit will come onto the field. We've seen a lot of this Chapman punt unit so far.
And Corbin Coffer, the intended receiver there, Chapman's tight end, and Mac Vale just put it a bit wide.
Elias Deeb with his punt. He's had 2 great punts so far in this game, putting Trinity inside their own 10. This one a very deep punt. Calls for a fair catch at the 35-yard line. Trinity will start their drive from their own 36. Brandon Grauer coming back out onto the field. And he has had a little bit of trouble. No passing touchdowns. In fact, the only passing touchdown for Trinity has come from a receiver. We're looking to see a heavy dose of McDowell in this drive.
Yeah, and again, Trinity, with that huge play there at the beginning of the second half, it wasn't really a stable play. It wasn't something showing that they've really gained momentum. It was just kind of a lucky trick play, honestly.
First play of the drive here for Trinity. Brandon Grauer gets sacked in the backfield. Number 99, Austin Pica. His first sack of the game, and he just bear hugs Grauer.
Yeah, Grauer's got to feel a little shaken up after that one.
Yeah, you get hugged by a bear, you're going to be shaken up. So here we see he gets around the offensive lineman. That was number 74. There's another play here. Grauer over to the right side. Receiving that pass is Tommy Levine, the man who caught the touchdown for a short gain. But it's going to be 3rd and about 11 here.
Yeah, and Chapman here really going to have to convert on 3rd down, play some good defense here.
Take a look at how the teams have done on 3rd down so far. A lot more 3rd down opportunities for Trinity. 5 of 11, just under 50%. And coming right up the middle, 2 Chapman defenders. Number 95, Andrew Deacon on the field. There are a couple flags on the play. It looked like it might have been a horse collar. We take a look at the penalties for the game so far. Not a lot, but they have made a difference so far. One of them stopped Chapman from getting a 1st down, and one of them gave Trinity a 1st down.
Yeah, and that looks like that penalty is going to be on Chapman. It was either a horse collar or a face mask. I can't really tell.
It was a face mask, as we could tell by the replay. Andrew Deacon grabbing his face mask, and that's something you can't do.
And that's
you have an opportunity. The play is broken down. It doesn't look like Trinity's going to go anywhere, and you give him free yards.
And that's awful luck there. I mean, honestly, Chapman, again, giving away possession, essentially, as Trinity would have been forced to punt.
Instead, they get another opportunity, and Trinity, not a team that likes to waste second chances.
Penalty drives the Tigers all the way to their own 38-yard line. 1st and 10.
Three receiver set. Evan McDowell in the backfield. He gets the handoff, bumps it out to the right side, to the left side, and gets stopped by 3 Chapman defenders. There is a flag on the field.
And to me, that looked like offensive holding there.
And that would be a big deal for Chapman. It would remain 1st down, but a couple yards back, they need to return that. There is no foul on the play. Justin Thompson has more on what's going down on the field. Justin, shed some light on this.
All right. Thanks, guys. Yeah, we after that last Trinity touchdown, I was there by the bench, and you could hear some Chapman players grumbling again. But number 51, Andrew Walker, again, was very quick to put everyone at ease, said that if they don't score again, we still win. So it's on them to step up on defense. Senior linebacker Devin Ray, number 59, chimed in that if they play their fundamental football, they will stop the team. They will win this game. Number 99, Austin Pica, looked fired up with the sack on this drive. Back to you guys in the booth.
Whoa, that was a close one there. Weren't able to call that one, but almost a circus catch there by the Trinity wide receiver. That's John Sorey, and he is a little bit sorry he couldn't catch that one. Going to go back to his quarterback and apologize. A great throw there by Grauer, and almost a great catch as well.
And it seemed like Sorey had the ball until he came into contact with the ground, and that jarred the football from his hands.
As we look at the replay here, Grauer's eyeing him down the whole way. Gets past his defender. 1, 2, 3 tries, not able to get it. Grauer back to pass again, and he gets sacked in the backfield. Immediately breaking through the line was Ben Waters, who seems to be everywhere. Murky Waters in this field right now.
And Chapman finds a way there to get another stop. That penalty that hurt them, it's done nothing now, and they're going to get the ball back, and Jason Isabel's going to have a chance to, or Jacob Isabel's going to have a chance to return here.
Second punt we've seen from Trinity. Isabel has had one pretty good return so far. I don't know if he's going to match his 97-yard return from last week, but he is a very dangerous returner. Looks like Chapman's going to attempt to block this punt. They've already blocked one on the day. And it looks like it got tipped there as well, so a very nice job by the Chapman Special Teams unit.
And Chapman will start in Trinity territory here at around Trinity's 41-yard line, which is always great field position.
Anytime you can start in enemy territory, it is very likely that you are going to get some points. Devin Kelly with the tip there. So the second blocked punt for Chapman on 3 attempts. That's pretty outstanding.
Yeah, Chapman's special teams, again, coming in clutch here.
Everything about their special teams has been uber special so far. A play action here remains in the hands of their running back, who gets a couple of yards, a gain of about 4, 2nd and 6. Tiano Pachotti gets the ball there. He's going to come out, and Joe Muty's going to come back in. Joe Muty has had a great game so far. Rushing-wise, he's had some negative carries, but he has been a very big threat in the passing game.
And Pachotti, you've seen him on both sides of the ball now. You saw him with that special teams blocked punt and score that touchdown.
That's right. He has a touchdown. Vale out of the gun. A quick pass over to the left side. It's Isabel. Isabel out past the 30-yard line. It's going to be a first down.
And it's not hard finding Jason Isabel tonight with those shiny gold cleats on.
On the stop there was Adam Saunders. Adam Saunders has been pretty good at stopping his receivers. 2 tackles on the day. Two tight end formation here. The handoff to Muty, who runs on the right side but gets blocked immediately by the Trinity team. Alejandro Anzaldua on the stop there.
And it looks like another short loss for Chapman's rushing core here.
Second down.
Joe Muty has not had a lot of success on the ground. You see here, Aldazua gets right around his block immediately and stops a gain here. Joe Muty looking a little bit confused as what the play call is, but they get set up. Mac Vale out of the gun. And a stoppage of play here. Timeout by Chapman. Owen's probably going to talk about their run game. They have not been able to get much yardage on the ground.
Yeah, and Chapman seeming somewhat discombobulated on the last few plays as Bob Owens calls a timeout here, maybe to get his offense, kind of get their heads back in the game.
Mac Vale has not looked like himself at quarterback, and Joe Muty unable to get much yardage on the ground. Coach Owens just needs them to take a break, take a breath, and get back out there.
And Coach Owens is really looking for them to capitalize on turnovers. He knows that the only way that Chapman's going to win this game against this talented Trinity team is to capitalize.
They have already capitalized on one turnover. We'll see if they can do it again. Chapman is going to go back out there at exactly the 30-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and 12. Coach Owens has his play drawn up, and Chapman trots back out onto the field. They look pretty confident. A 3-receiver set, one tight end. Look for Ethan Weinstein, the lone receiver on the left side. Vale out of the gun, looking to his right. A short pass over to Isabel. Going to take it to about the 23-yard line. Only 4 yards to go, 3rd and 4.
And it seems that when Vale goes under center, you just kind of, you can walk away, and because Jason Isabel is going to catch that ball.
Here we see it here, not his first receiver, but Isabel, his go-to guy, and that's what you need to do as a quarterback. When your hot route is not open, you got to go to your number 1. Out of the gun, Vale looking to his right again. Over the top, Weinstein, but it's too long. It's going to bring up 4th down and probably the field goal unit. We might see some Lucas Alfonso action out here.
Intended for number 6, Ethan Weinstein. Incomplete, 4th down.
Field goal unit will indeed come out there. This is going to be a 41-yarder. We have already, 41-yarder. We have already seen Doyle, the kicker for Trinity, miss one from this distance. Time to see who's got the better leg. Alfonso has missed both of his PATs so far. And this one here looked like it got tipped off of the hands of the Trinity defender, number 55, Stargil Shelby. We take a look at the Chapman offense tonight and how they have done with the ball.
And Chapman, total yards 193, nothing to scoff at, but rushing yards still in the negatives column with negative 13. An unlucky number there. And Chapman has had 34 total plays. Trinity has had a few more.
Grauer, a deep pass up the middle and gets it to his receiver. And that's Cody Sandman. We haven't seen a lot of him, but he is a very dangerous receiver. And Grauer's probably going to have to go to him a lot more if they want to cut down this lead and possibly come away with the win. Just under 5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and Grauer really playing not really like himself in the first half, and now he's come out, he's kind of found his footing, and he's finding his hot man.
Just his 2nd reception on the night. McDowell gets the handoff and gets brought down by the Chapman team. Pretty much the whole Chapman defensive line was in on that one. That was a stop by Dominic Luca, who came in on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 12. So Chapman looks like they're stopping McDowell, but on that last play, Grauer beat him with their arm.
Yeah, and we talked about it here. Both teams with secondaries that are not as strong as their defensive lines.
Grauer out of the gun again. 4 receivers. Looking to his left. Finds his receiver down the line. That was Tommy Levine. Not enough for the 1st down, but a 3rd and short coming up. Looks for McDowell to get the handoff and look for Chapman to stop him like they've done most of tonight.
Yeah, and we saw a play just like this earlier in the first half, and Chapman did get the stop here, so hoping they can do that again.
Third down, McDowell gets the handoff, and he just short of the 40-yard line. That's not going to be 45-yard line. That's not going to be enough for a 1st down. It's going to be strange to see what Coach Urban does on this 4th down.
Stopped short of the 1st down marker.
Are they going to punt it, or are they going to go for it? It looks like their offense is staying out there. I like this gutsy call by Urban and Trinity.
Well, considering they're in Chapman territory, you'd think that it would make sense to go for it.
And go for it, they shall. This would be enormous if Chapman could stop them. McDowell in the backfield, 4 receivers. McDowell gets the handoff and gets just past the first down marker down at the 43-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 Tigers.
Gets across the 45, gets a first down.
Trinity tonight, they have been pretty good, pretty balanced attack. More yards than the Panthers, but points don't show that. They've had 54 plays overall, very balanced attack, not much rushing yards, but over the air they have had some huge plays, a pass from Tommy Levine and a couple big plays from Grauer as well. McDowell will run up the middle and get stopped almost immediately, maybe a 1-yard gain. And stopped by Dominic Luca.
And you see the difference in the number of plays there versus Chapman versus Trinity, only almost 20 more plays for Trinity. So they've really gotten far into Chapman territory a few times here, but Chapman's made those stops that they've needed to make.
Chapman has needed to make those stops, and just think about it. How big are those 2 missed PATs by Lucas Alfonso? That would turn this from a field goal winning the game to a field goal not even getting close. They'd still be down. Grauer looking deep, looking down the middle, and Tommy Levine just too long. That's Ron Washington on the coverage. Ron Washington has been such a huge factor on the defensive end. We take a look at the replay. Grauer going down a huge arm. I thought for a second it looked like Ron Washington was holding him, and PI might have been called, but Ron Washington is too good for that. Demanded that the yellow flag not be thrown.
And here we go. We've got a huge 3rd down here, 3rd and 10, 3rd and long. You don't see a lot of these for Trinity. Probably going to force Austin Grauer to throw. And so hopefully the secondary can come up here and make a huge stop.
Four receivers set. They have Trips on the right side. He's looking to his right, but dumps it off to the left. It's McDowell. Doesn't look like McDowell's going to get far enough. Gets just past the 40. The stop by number 25, Noah Deneen. And that's going to bring out the punt unit for Trinity.
And noticeable frustration there from McDowell, not able to pick up the 1st down. Hasn't really been himself tonight.
But look at the replay here. It's not his first option, but they can't do really much anything else. Every receiver downfield was covered. And they knew that that wasn't going to be enough to get the 1st down, but it might be enough to pin them within their own 10. A fair catch called by Chapman. Isabel catches that one at about the 8-yard line. That's right where you want to be. If it bounces any further than the 8-yard line, you pretty much want to let it go into the end zone.
Yeah, and Chapman's still pinned inside their own 10-yard line here, so it may be a long drive for them to get to the end zone.
We've seen a couple of long drives by Trinity. They've been a very efficient offense. We have yet to see a very sustainable, super long drive by Chapman.
Yeah, a lot of Chapman's success on offense has really come from their defense, honestly, and their special teams.
Coming out at quarterback is going to be Bautista. Bautista had a rough first quarter, but did not throw an interception. The handoff here to Muti, who fumbles it. A missed handoff there might have just given Trinity a huge opportunity. It looks like it was recovered by Muti, though. That was way too close. Excuse me, that was not Muti on the carry. That was Diano Pichote.
And Muti coming back into the game. Bob Owens maybe getting his number 1 guy back in there.
Bautista keeps the ball. Play action, finds his receiver, and a huge block by Isabel. The crowd really got into that one. They are loving that block. The pass went to Corbin Coffer. Corbin Coffer, a freshman, but he is huge. Let's take a look at that block and catch again. Coffer catches the ball at about the 9-yard line. Isabel comes in and knocks him flat on the ground. The third quarter just runs down, and we are going to have to wait a little bit longer to see if Chapman can get some points and extend this lead. You look at Corbin Coffer here, 6'4", 240 as a freshman. Jeez. What are they feeding this guy?
And the big man on that play didn't make the block. He made the catch, and then the little guy, Isabel, made the block there.
Breaking stereotypes. That's what you'll love to see. The teams are going to switch sides, and we will get ready for the fourth quarter. 15 minutes will decide whether or not Chapman gets their first win of the game in their home opener.
And hopefully Chapman here can sustain that offensive drive they've got going here.
Yeah, sustaining their offense is going to be huge. They got a big block there, got the crowd into it, got the sideline into it. They need to feed off of that momentum and really carry it into the fourth quarter. They are only up by 2. They need some offense right now.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if that offense comes from Bautista or Vale, as Bob Owens giving Bautista the chance for some redemption here.
Looks like Bautista's going to come in. The drive will start from the 8-yard line, but the fourth quarter will start from the 28-yard line. A quick pass out to the right side. It's Weinstein who gets tripped up by the Trinity defender. Almost immediately a short gain of about 1 second and 9.
And Bautista really not really finding a number one guy here, kind of taking a different approach than Mac Vale, but just using everyone, and it's worked out for him so far on this drive.
There we see Weinstein. Weinstein looking very confident. He is one of those guys who Trinity cannot keep their eye off of, because if you blink, he will beat you. Out of the gun. A play action and a nice find by Bautista. It's Isabel on the slant route. That's going to be a first down past the 40-yard line.
And that was really great control by Bautista. If he'd thrown that pass a second earlier, it may have been intercepted there. He kind of threaded the needle, and he pump faked and then made the throw to Isabel, who was wide open.
Looked like the ball was stuck to his hand for a second. I was a little concerned. But you know, he finds Bautista. That's some forearm strength right there. He made a full throw motion. Still held on to it. 2 receivers. The handoff to Muti. A run up the middle. A short gain of about 3. 2nd and 7.
And Chapman's rushing game just trying to get back to 0 on yardage here.
On the stop there is Michael Inco. His first tackle of the game.
At the Panthers' 45-yard line.
A heavy set. 3 tight ends over on the right side of the quarterback. On the left side, it's a pass by Muti, by Bautista.
Another Panther handoff to number 27, Joe Muti. Gets to the 49-yard line, 3rd down and 3.
Coming out of the game is going to be Pachotti. Third and 3. Out of the gun, Bautista. A play action, and he is sacked in the backfield. And that's Packard, who had a couple of sacks in the 3rd quarter, his first sack of the 4th. And that one is huge, stopping the offense in their tracks.
And Chapman unable to convert on 3rd down again.
Give that Trinity sack to number 35, Luke Packard.
We're going to see a punt again by Deeb. We take a look at Vale and Bautista right next to each other. A little bit of a controversy there, trying to figure out who is going to be the starter for the rest of the season. Deeb with the punt. A little bit of a spiral punt, very deep, having the returner back up. Seems like he's found a hole. He's running around some defenders, breaks a tackle, but is brought down just past the 35-yard line. On the stop there is Ricky Medieros.
And another great punt there by the freshman Deeb, almost pinning Trinity back inside the 10.
It would have been tough to pin them inside their 10. It was a very long punt, though, and very powerful, something you would not expect to see from a freshman. So far tonight, we take a look at what both teams have done. Chapman destroying Trinity through the air. That was a key that my partner Holden talked about earlier. And Trinity really dominating the possession battle. That being said, defense has really taken a hold of this game. Not many yards by either team. Grauer runs out to his right, finds his receiver on the right side for a gain of about 10. It's going to be a first down.
And you mentioned Trinity winning the possession battle. Yes, they've had more plays, but they've turned the ball over more as well.
Absolutely. Turnovers can cost you even the simplest game. It's something we see all the time. 3 receivers and a tight end. McDowell in the backfield. The handoff to McDowell. Bounces out to the right, almost gets through, but is tripped up by Chapman. And that was number 58, Miles Ollis.
And it seemed like McDowell may have almost lost the ball there, but the referee called him down before the ball came out.
Yeah, it looked like he was down. His butt was down, and he just seemed like dropped the ball where he was. McDowell getting a heavy dose of runs. That just broke the 100-yard rushing barrier for Trinity. Pass back, looking deep into the right, and just out of the reach of Levine. Grauer's throw. It's going to be third and 6.
And if Levine had caught that ball, it would have been like Odell Beckham Jr. with that one-handed catch.
Absolutely. Tommy Levine, a very good receiver. I don't know if he's OBJ level, but still somebody who is very threatening on offense.
And we also saw his arm earlier with that touchdown pass to Rhodes Leg.
He caught a touchdown pass from Rhodes' leg earlier in this game. A huge third down here, 3rd down and 3 at just about midfield. Look for McDowell to get the ball. Look for Chapman to expect that handoff. They're looking to pass, and he dumps it off to McDowell, who gets just past the first down marker at about the 43-yard line.
Trinity converting another 3rd down there. Chapman hasn't been able to do that very much, and Trinity's, I think, has now done it on over half of their chances.
A fake pass there by Grauer, but it's a run up the middle by McDowell and a huge dog pile there. Not a gain for much, but it is some yardage at about the 40-yard line.
And it seems that the tables have kind of turned for Trinity's offense as Grauer's kind of taken on the offensive lead role here, and McDowell's taking kind of a back seat, not really able to find his rhythm.
McDowell has done so much in this game, and Grauer has sort of taken the back seat, as you said, but really Grauer's going to need to step up if they want to get some points and put Chapman, put some pressure on Chapman. Grauer looking deep down the right side, but behind his receiver, Connor Sandman. We've seen so many long throws by Grauer. It's strange to see a short one. Sandman unable to catch that one.
Yeah, and that was a dangerous pass. Sandman seemed to have his man beat. His man had his back to Sandman, and a good pass there may have even been a touchdown.
Yeah, that was inside the 10-yard line, but it's going to be 3rd and 8. Trinity has been so efficient on 3rd down so far today, but Chapman needs to stop them here. 4 receivers, 3 on the right side. Over on the left, it's Tommy Levine. And some Chapman defenders get through, but it looks like Grauer's going to try to run it, but that is not enough. Some great chase there by Chapman's defense. That's going to bring up 4th down and the punt unit.
And pursuing Adam Grauer there, again, Adam O'Shea continuing to come into the backfield and disrupt play for Trinity.
There we saw Isabel, who has been huge on the return and the receiving side of the ball, has the only offensive touchdown for Chapman so far. 2 block punts so far in this game for Chapman. Lucky number 3 might be right here. Don't want to jinx it, though. A little bit of a low punt, but handled by Trinity. Isabel gets the ball and rushes for about 4 yards. Not too big of a return, but still. So any yardage is good.
And we're starting to get late in the game here, only a little less than 9 minutes to go, and this is one of those points where Chapman needs to have a long possession, hold the ball, and really gain some momentum, get some yardage here, and hopefully get a score, because those 2 missed PATs have really hurt them and made this a less than 1 possession game.
Absolutely. Bautista in the backfield drops it off to Weinstein, who drags the defender about 5 more yards. It's going to be a gain of about 6, 2nd and 4. I tried to get either Chris Williams or hey, actually get Diana Pachoda, because he had that block punt for a touchdown, number 22.
A good 7-yard gain, 2nd down and 3 at the Panthers' own 17-yard line.
Over on the right side, 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. The handoff to Joe Muty, who bounces out to the left side. Not a huge gain, but it will be a first down as he gets past the 20-yard line. You see him here. He was supposed to go up the middle, but bounces out to the left and pretty much gets some extra yards when he shouldn't have. On the tackle there is Packard.
Ricky Bautista waiting to set the play up here.
In the backfield is Muty. 3 receivers. Handoff to Muty again, who finds a hole but gets tripped up. That could have been a huge play for Chapman, but some great defense there by Brad Hood, who made the tackle.
And you've heard that name a lot tonight, Brad Hood.
Second down and 3.
Joe Muty there, so close to a big play. We haven't seen a huge rush play, but maybe they could get into the positive. If it's like Jeopardy, you don't want to be in the negative. That won't even get you the final Jeopardy. A 3-receiver set here, 1 tight end, and Muty again in the backfield. Bautista looking to pass, takes it for himself, a couple of good blocks ahead of him, and slides past the 40-yard line.
And the Chapman sideline not happy about that hit. They thought their quarterback had been hit late, but it seemed that the defender just couldn't stop his momentum.
I'm not sure if it was exactly a quarterback draw, but it doesn't matter. It was a nice play, a little bit of helmet-to-helmet contact, but Bautista seems like he's all right, so we don't have to worry about that. And they have gone with the same formation the past 4 plays. 3 receivers and 1 tight end. A play action here. Looking left and going down the sideline, it's Muty. A block ahead, Weinstein. And he's going to be brought down just before the 5. A huge passing play. Great find by Bautista. We take a look at the replay. For a second, it looked like Bautista was trying to find Weinstein, but Muty wide open, nobody within 5 yards of him, and then we get to see his legs go. He is such a fast guy. Take a look at the quarterback comparison tonight.
And looking at Mac Vale, 13 for 18, 70% completion, and then Austin Grauer a little less, and Grauer doesn't have a touchdown and 2 interceptions.
And it is Bautista who runs it in, a 6-yard touchdown run. And a nice touchdown run. We saw one through the air by Vale. We see one on the ground by Bautista.
And Bob Owens really smart to bring Bautista in there, you know, kind of change the playing style from his quarterback and draw Trinity off guard a little bit.
Absolutely. We didn't even think about that. Trinity might have been getting so used to seeing Vale in there that they weren't ready for a mobile quarterback. Lucas Alfonso on for his 3rd point after attempt. He missed the previous 2. One of them was blocked. The snap, it's up, and it's good. Chapman leads by 9. with just under 6 minutes left here in the fourth quarter.
And third time's the charm there for Alfonso.
Absolutely. There you see Bautista getting some fist bumps from his team. He deserves them. 6'1", 190 pounds. He's a junior. And maybe next year, when there isn't Vail, no competition, we're going to see a lot more from him. And he is an exciting player. Can't wait to watch him.
And you've also got to love the 2-quarterback set that Bob Owens has used tonight. I think he may use that a lot this season in the future, because you're going to be able to catch these teams off guard with both the running quarterback and the quarterback who's more throw-oriented.
Absolutely. It becomes so much harder for opposing teams to game plan when you have two different style quarterbacks. Mac Vail coming over to console Bautista. Oh, hugging it out. No competition between them. No beef between the two of them. Chapman getting ready for the kickoff. 5 minutes, 57 seconds left to hold this lead. 2-possession game. Deep kick, caught at the 2-yard line. But he finds some space, some good blocks out in front of him, and nobody's able to get him. It's Lucas Alfonso, the kicker, who gets the tackle at about midfield. And lucky for Chapman, Alfonso was there. That could have been much, much bigger.
Yeah, he may have just saved a touchdown there, and that's huge because Trinity's down right now. You want to keep them down, keep that momentum on your side.
Here we see the returner. He finds some space over on the left side. I guess Chapman's plan was to kick it off to the right side, their right. But a lot of space over there. That's a sort of a double-edged sword. You can stop him a lot sooner, but it also allows for much bigger gains. And that time we saw the bad end for Chapman. On the play, there was a flag. Illegal block in the back by Trinity. It's going to push them back 15 yards. They're going to be back at their own 36.
And that's a little more manageable.
Set. Grauer dumps it off to McDowell, a short pass and a gain of about 8. And they have been so effective finding those dump-off passes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what most of McDowell's yardage has come from tonight, is those dump-off passes. Not really finding his production on the ground, so letting his quarterback do the work here.
They set up in the same position, same exact personnel out on the field. Looking over to the left side, another dump-off to McDowell, who gets out to almost the 50, about the 49-yard line. That's going to be a first down.
And if you're Trinity here, you've got to start thinking about the clock. It's a 2-possession game, and the clock continues to run. Maybe start to try to run some hurry-up offense. I know 5 minutes is a lot of time, but it's still a lot of time for Chapman to play good defense.
Exactly. Grauer looking over to his right, and a long throw just off the hands of Sandman, who is unable to corral it in. Haven't seen a lot of Sandman. He's been targeted 3 times in this second half, though.
Yeah, and it seems like when Austin Grauer is throwing to Sandman, he's throwing to a taller receiver than Sandman actually is.
Exactly, and that's something you don't want to do. He was in between 2 Chapman defenders and tried to place it in between, but, you know, maybe he just shouldn't have thrown it there in general. One Trinity defender is wide receiver is not covered, but they decide to hand it off to McDowell, who runs up the middle for a short gain of about 3, 3rd and 7. 2nd and 7, excuse me. 3rd and 7. Out of the gun, Grauer evades some defenders and tries to throw across his body and just off the hands of Salmon, who almost made a spectacular one-handed catch. That's going to bring up 4th down, but it looks like Trinity's going to go for it. The play broke down a little bit. Salmon wasn't his first option. Something you always get taught at quarterback school is don't throw across your body, but Salmon was open and almost made a spectacular catch for a 1st down.
And this play is where Chapman's really going to need to step up here. A stop here may mean a sealed victory.
We are about to find out which of these boys are men out there on the field. Chapman's defense needs to make a stop. If they make this stop, the game is over. virtually. Out of the gun, Grauer. Oh, almost sacked, but he evades and gets a reception over to the right side, just past the 40-yard line by Levine. We're going to take a look at Chapman's defense right now and show just how effective they have been. But first, we're going to take a look at the reception. Extending the play is Grauer, and that's what he's been able to do all night, just get around Chapman defenders. Levine know where that first down marker was, got just past and caught the ball. Grauer finds his man Levine again over on the left side for a short gain of about 1 second and 9. 3 minutes, 47 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. An injury on the field. It's a Trinity player. It is outside of the 2-minute warning, so this will not count as a timeout for Trinity. But this is something you don't want to see, and it may if you're the coach.
May look like a cramp there. It looks like the athletic trainers, they're just stretching him out, trying to get those muscles working.
Cramps are the worst, right? But he gets back up on his feet. Trinity is going to need Levine for the rest of this game. Without his catching ability, it would be very tough. The 5'11" freshman out of Cedar Park. He's just a freshman. It's going to be amazing to see what he can do after 3 more years in Trinity. Keeping the clock rolling. Down goes the clock. 3 minutes, 42 seconds left here. Grauer out of the gun. Looks to his left. And way downfield and over the head of his receiver. That's not going to work there. That was Court Cowart, the intended receiver. Incomplete. 3rd down and 9.
And Trinity really playing 4 downs here.
Grauer again out of the gun. 4 receivers set. And some Chapman defenders get through, but he gets the pass off to Levine, who tries to get out to the 30, but is just short. That's not going to be enough for a first down. I think Trinity's going to have to go for it, though. We take a look at Chapman's defense tonight.
And Chapman has 63 tackles, 2 interceptions, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Those are numbers you love to see from Chapman, especially the 2 interceptions after the secondary's shaky performance against a Linfield team that is very strong last weekend.
Grauer gets it to the left side. It's Cowart who hurdles a defender, gets around another, and gets in for the touchdown. A great run after the catch by Cowart. We look at the replay here. A great block by his fellow receiver down the line, and Chris Williams tried to make the tackle, but Cowart gets right around and he dives in. It's going to be a 1-possession game once again with just under 3 minutes left here in the fourth quarter.
And another underclassman there, Cowart, a sophomore. Really seeing production from your underclassmen for Trinity.
Well, the young guys showing the old guys that they can learn new tricks. And the PAT is good.
Trinity finds new life here with that touchdown. Goes from down 9 to just down 2. And this possession going to be huge for Chapman.
It's going to be huge, and it's going to be a clock management possession. All they have to do is run out the clock. If they can just get first down after first down after first down, that's going to run it down so far that's going to be way, way, way tough for Trinity to come back.
Also a reminder, Chapman's next home game and annual homecoming game will be next Saturday when the Panthers take on Pomona Pitzer right here at 7 p.m.
Trinity getting ready to kick it off to Chapman. Looks like they're going to go for an onside kick, a risky decision.
Yeah, and this could give Chapman the ball inside Trinity territory.
This is actually a smart call by Urban, because even if Chapman gets the ball, oh, no, they kick it off. Strange choice. caught by the Chapman returner at about the 6-yard line, gets a return of about 12 out to the 18. I was going to say that the onside kick would have been a good choice because even if Chapman did score, it would probably not be that long of a possession. Trinity would have some time, but they choose to return it, trying to get their defense to they're putting this game in the hands of their defense, it seems.
And again, you talk about time management here. Trinity's been smart this half, and they have all 3 timeouts left. They know that they may have to use those timeouts while Chapman still has the ball and set up potentially a kind of a last-minute drive.
Bautista runs out there. He's got Isabel on his left, Weinstein on his right, and Moody right next to him in the backfield. The handoff is to Moody, who bounces out and gets a short rush of about 3 yards, 2nd and 7.
And the rushing game tonight's been virtually non-existent, and this is where you really need it the most.
On the stop there was Mitchell Globe, who's been so involved. A timeout by Trinity. They're going to try to stop the clock. Their first timeout of the second half. They still have 2 more.
Timeout. Trinity.
So Chapman and Trinity are going to talk over this huge drive right now. Coach Owens probably telling his team just manage the clock, keep it on the ground, and try to get some first downs. On the other side of the ball, Trinity's probably saying, let them do that, but just make sure they don't get a first down. Maybe even try to force a fumble and get the ball back in their hands.
Yeah, if Chapman doesn't get a first down on this next play and Trinity calls a timeout and then they get a first down on the next play, that could be the nail in the coffin, is Trinity only having 1 timeout left with somewhat few minutes left to play.
Absolutely. They do have the 2-minute warning, though. But something that would be huge would be a first down right here. Bautista coming back out there. Isabel on his left, Weinstein on his right. Same formation as last play. Look for Moody to get the ball. Moody does get the ball and runs up the middle for a gain of about 1. It's going to be 3rd down and another timeout called by Trinity. Trinity really relying on their defense to stop them on this set of downs.
Timeout called by the Tigers.
We're going to take a look at the 3rd down efficiency.
And Chapman again having trouble on 3rd down like they did last weekend, and Trinity not a lot better, only getting 1/3 of their first downs on 3rd down.
Yeah, it's been a really tough down for both teams so far this game. You can see Chapman 30%, Trinity 33%. It's just not a down you really want to be on, but this is a 3rd down coming up right here, and it would be absolutely monumental if Chapman could get out past the 30-yard line for that first down.
And if you don't get the first down here, it's going to put a ton of pressure on Chapman's defense. But with the way they've played tonight, you can know that they're going to step up to that challenge.
Absolutely. I bet that the defense is on the sideline right now saying, we want it. We want that opportunity to come up with the huge stop. Bautista out of the gun. Looks like there's going to be 5 rushers. A pass attempt over to the right side, and that's Isabel who catches it for a first down, and that is enormous.
And Chapman now looking at Trinity. Trinity's lost 2 of their timeouts. Now they have 1 timeout left and the 2-minute warning.
And they're going to call their 3rd and final timeout, Trinity is. And Coach Urban expecting his defense to stop them right here. All they have is the 2-minute warning. If it wasn't for that, Chapman could just kneel it out and let Trinity have the ball with only like 10 seconds left, but that wouldn't be enough.
And really, when a pass play is set up, you don't even.
You know, even though Saturday is a non-conference game, it's still a big game, and everybody should take it seriously. But as soon as we start getting the conference, that's when I think it really starts to. You got to get your plays down. You got to get everything down because it's go time.
There we see McKibbins talking about that new team. And it's a great new team from the looks of it so far. They are leading right here. Trinity was a very tough team. I don't know if they were expected to win this game, but they have been absolutely studly so far today. 1st and 10 for the Panthers at their own 31-yard line. It's Muty who gets the handoff for a short rush of about 1. It's going to be 2nd and 9.
And I think this will take us down to the 2-minute warning. And then it'll really just be up to Chapman. One more first down will end this game.
Absolutely. And it would be a dagger in the hearts of Trinity. Trinity is 2-1 on the season. This would bring them down to 500 and bring Chapman up to 500. Chapman is 0-1 on the season. So right through the 2-minute warning we go. No 2-minute warning here today. Bautista, the handoff to Muty, who runs up the middle. Another short gain of about 1 again this time. 3rd and 7.
And this will take you down to about 1 minute here. Clock has stopped running here. Not really sure why.
Another Panther handoff to number 27, Joe Muty.
And Muty comes off the field here.
Woo, big scary mantis coming out. Big scary mantis. Sorry about that. Big scary mantis on my shoulder. Didn't want. Whoa, that was freaky. All right. 1 minute 22 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. That's the last thing you want to see on your shoulder. And the last thing Trinity wants to see is a first down. Diano Pachote with the carry there, a very short gain. That's not going to be enough for a first down. Chapman's going to have to punt it away. Under a minute left here in the 4th quarter. And Trinity is going to get the ball. They have been a very dangerous offense. Look for Levine or Sandman to get the ball on a pass attempt.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see McDowell used here as well.
McDowell has been huge on those dump plays, but I don't know if a dump play is going to be enough to get the yardage.
Chapman calls a timeout here, letting the clock run down to the final second.
We're going to send it to Jeremiah McKibbins, who has another interview.
The final second.
We're going to send it to Jeremiah McKibbins, who has another interview.
You got to get the plays down. You got to get everything down because it's go time.
As Jeremiah McKibbins said, go time for that defense to make a huge stop. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. The punt by Deeb. He has made some huge punts. That one almost blocked into the arms of the return man, who gets a lot of room and runs out of bounds just past the 40-yard line, about the 44.
And you've got to remember, this is just a 2-point game. A field goal here for Trinity would win it.
Absolutely. How big are those 2 missed PATs by Lucas Alfonso? A field goal could win this game. The long for Doyle, the kicker for Trinity, is 40 yards, which means that Trinity needs to get to the 23-yard line to have a chance.
And also, Trinity doesn't have any timeouts left, so they're going to need to get to the sideline to stop the clock if they want to kick a field goal.
4 receivers, trips to his right. A long pass down the left sideline, and just off of the hands of his receivers. The intended target was number 83, Jaden Holden, his first target of the game.
Austin Grauer using everyone he can here, just trying to find a way to get Trinity a win.
Four receivers, 3 on the right again. Down the left sideline again, it's Holden who makes the catch and tries to get out of bounds.
And the referee...
It looks like he did get out of bounds. as the clock stops at 8.5 seconds. And look here, did he get out of bounds? Did he get the ball out of bounds? It looks like he did actually do that. Another 4 receivers set, this time 2 on the right and 2 on the left. On the right side is Rhodes' leg and Sandman. Look for the ball to go there. It looks like he's looking to the left again. It's Holden again who gets out of bounds. 4 seconds left. This isn't enough for a field goal, I don't think. It'd be a very long 50-yard field goal about.
Yeah, that would be an NFL range field goal, and Chapman just playing prevent defense here, not trying to allow a touchdown here, knowing that Trinity's kicker has not been very strong tonight.
Trinity's kicker has not been strong, but the arm of Grauer has been shown off. He can reach the end zone from here. It looks like that's what they're going to go for. Try to get it out to the side again. It's Holden, and Holden makes the catch again. He has been huge on this drive, and the field goal unit comes out with 1 second left. How do you like this? What kind of awesome photo finish game is this? This would be his longest field goal of his career. It's going to be 47 yards. Chapman's crowd is getting into it. Lots of noise. The snap, the hold, the kick. And it's left. No good. He's been hooking them left all night, and this one wins Chapman the game. A great finish, and the Chapman sideline comes rushing onto the field. Wow, what a finish.
Wow, my heart is racing. That was a great finish here tonight. Great home opener for Chapman, and hopefully some momentum they can take into their conference schedule.
We get to see Doyle's reaction here. He's so disappointed with himself. He'd missed so many field goals this game. Just one of them would have won Trinity the game. However, Chapman comes away with the victory. A well-earned victory. So a game that they weren't expected to win.
Yeah, and I mean, I heard a lot of people talking around campus today just saying that Trinity was a heavy favorite, and Chapman really came out here and with the heart of a lion, they played a great game.
Well, David and Goliath, and David will always come out on top. Trinity has a much larger team, heavier, taller, but Chapman have hearts of gold. The Panthers come out on top of the Tigers in this rumble in the jungle. Owens has to be very pleased with his team. All aspects of the game went well. Offense, defense, special teams. And Trinity can't help but leave disappointed. So far, so close, yet so far. A 47-yard field goal away from winning the game. And maybe if you want to get down to specifics, really a 31-yard field goal and a 41-yard field goal also from winning the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as a college kicker, you can't be disappointed in yourself for missing a 47-yarder, but those other two, the 31 and 41, were in his range, so.
Absolutely. Chapman celebrating with the band and the cheerleaders, as they usually do, having a little bit of a mosh pit over there. Really going to enjoy themselves. There we see two of the players, just hugging it out, having a bromance right there. Geez, you have to imagine how happy they have to be. All right, and Chapman, geez, got to be ecstatic. The crowd is ecstatic. The band is ecstatic. The cheerleaders are ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. Like, Holden, are you ecstatic?
I'm hyped. It was a great game. It was such a fun first game for me to broadcast with you, Michael.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have to settle down for a second. We're going to go to a break. We'll be right back with the post game. You're watching the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network. We'll be right back.
Follow your dreams. Chapman University. Chemistry, physics, computational science, biology. Start doing research in your first year. Soar to new heights. The Schmidt College of Science at Chapman University. Explore.
Welcome back to the game, and what a game it was. A story of Panthers, Tigers, and Mantises. This game had everything. Defense, offense, special teams. Down with one of the heroes of the game right now is our sideline reporter, Justin Thompson. He's with Diano Pachote, who had an absolutely spectacular block.
Special teams play the block punt for a touchdown. Diano, walk me through that play.
Sure thing. So they got a great special teams unit, and their punting, particularly their punter, is a great athlete. So all week we game planned, hey, he's going to scramble, he's going to roll out if anything's funky. They got a bad snap. He bobbled it. I came hard off the edge, and he took off. Luckily, he tried to kick it again. We blocked it. Starts to scramble, and then I dive on it right in the end zone. It was that's the best way we can cap it off. Special teams, you win that third of the game, you're going to win a lot of games.
And the sidelines went crazy after that play. I spent a lot of time over there. The sideline was very loud. I'm wondering, how important was this game to you guys after dropping the season opener?
Well, our goal here at Ernie Chapman Stadium is to make it the most difficult place to play in the nation. And I think we do a good job of that. We got a great fan base. It's cheering really loud. Our sideline stays amped and hyped up. And really, it's just a great team win. Did a great job for everybody out here.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck next week. We'll see you then. Back to you guys.
You heard Pachote talk about the special teams, but another story was McVale and Bautista, their arms. So many yards through the air passing and negative yards rushing. Really, the pass attack is what won Chapman the game.
And really that pass attack, that two-set pass attack really worked. It was a great job by both Bautista and Vale, kind of differing playing styles, with Bautista being more of a mobile quarterback and Vale being more of a traditionalist, kind of using the air as his painting brush, essentially.
Exactly. An artist. I like how you described it. Joe Muti, the replacement for McKibbins, had a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Didn't do much with the rush game, but such a dangerous person when it comes to the pass attack. As we are going to take a look at the highlights for the game right now. The highlights of the game are coming up right after this, but we just wanted to take this time to tell you that Chapman played such a spectacular game. Offense, defense, special teams, they had it all. Everything was so good. We're going to take a look at the highlights right now. Holden, take it away.
And here's that blocked punt. We just talked to Diano Pachote about it, and you see Trinity's punter not able to hold onto the ball, corral it, and Pachote came back and recovered that ball in the end zone. Next up, you're going to see a reception here for Chapman. Big reception here, and then a great hit by Jason Isabel there on one of Trinity's secondary members. And here we've got Bautista being sacked by Trinity's defense, and then Chapman defense playing great defense on Trinity. And then finally a QB keeper here by Ricky Bautista. That was a huge gain. And then you've got Bautista again. Long pass to Joe Moody. And here we've got a return for Trinity's guard. A long return there. Trinity had a few of those tonight, but Chapman was able to stop him, and especially their kicker was able to stop him. And here we've got Trinity's quarterback here getting out of pressure and putting a pass on the sidelines to Tommy Levine. And there's another pass there from Trinity's quarterback. A long run touchdown for Court.
That doesn't exactly tell the story of the game. Chapman did a great job on defense. The second half was a little bit tougher for them. You know what I'm talking about? But Chapman really showed what they were capable of tonight. 3 touchdowns, 2 missed PATs, but they come away with the victory, and that's what's important. We are going to send you off. You've been watching CSBN. We'd like to thank everybody in the control room. Holden, I'd like to thank you. A great first broadcast for him. Chapman, the final, 19 to Trinity, 17. Chapman is 1-1 on the season. We'll see you next week.